A pleasant good evening and welcome to Pete Andamarino Stadium on the campus of Gateway High School in Monroeville, Pennsylvania for tonight's 5A WPIAL semifinal matchup between the number 2 Gateway Gators and the number 3 Peters Township Indians. A week ago, the Gateway Gators defeated the Penn Hills Indians in the 2 versus 7 matchup 14-0 here at Andamarino Stadium. Meanwhile, Peters Township hosted Woodland Hills, and the final in that game was 39-6 with the victory for the Indians over the Woodland Hills Wolverines. Adam Gusky, Vince Russo on the call for you up here in the booth. Down on the field, it's Rick McIntyre as we bring you this WPIAL semifinal matchup. And it's a very interesting matchup, Vince, because it's a rematch of the 2019 WPIAL Finals, a 21-20 victory for the Gateway Gators in that football game.
Yeah, and what we've talked about in the last couple of weeks is both of these teams return a lot of starters from that game, so sure to be rekindling a rivalry of sorts. Peters really felt like they got cheated. There were some bad breaks late in that game, that championship game, so they've got to be chomping at the bit to try and get revenge here. And Gateway, all season long, the eyes on the prize has been that state title game here in Derek Davis's senior year, so no shortage of things to play for here in a rematch of a really great close game last season.
And we thank you for joining us on the Job Funeral Home pregame show. We're going to send it down to field level. Rick McIntyre, what's the feeling down there on the sidelines?
Not much really report just yet. The team's just now getting ready to come out of the tunnel. Coach Hall standing right here to my right. Came out with pretty nice, quiet, poised confidence. I think if I asked him right now, he'd tell me the same things. Rep the G, played to the whistle. Let's come back with a win.
Rick, what's your thoughts about this football game? Obviously, a week ago we saw Gateway have some issues with getting the ball moving on offense. Conversely, the defense played very well.
Yeah, I think last week was really one of the first real tests. I mean, the Woodland Hills game, we saw a little bit of adversity. I think last week there was probably the biggest struggle this Gateway team has seen for a consecutive 48 minutes. So I think bouncing off of that, they got that under their belt. This is going to be another very tough challenge here. And we got to see a little more offensive production at them if we're going to see a positive victory tonight.
Thank you very much, Rick. We'll talk to you throughout the game. Thanks for joining us down there along the sidelines. And Vince, what's your thoughts about the fact that Gateway had such a tough time getting the offense moving once we got outside of that first quarter?
Yeah, I think the thing that was really concerning was their inability to run the ball north to south with Derek Davis. I know Rick and I talked off the air. Why not throw Kelvin Nelson, who's such a big physical body? They're in at fullback, maybe dot the I, go with an I formation early in the game, sort of ground and pound. You've got a very physical offensive line, and you want to keep your defense off of the field because that Gateway defense makes a lot of plays. They made a lot of plays last week, but you want them to keep that energy up throughout the game. Last week, the time and possession numbers weren't really in favor of the Gators, so you want to make sure that you have that opportunity to control the pace of play here tonight.
One thing I know that we talked about, at least off the air and maybe during the game as well, was the way that Carson Engelke was able to keep his head in the game even with his struggles. He had some issues with some long snaps, and he had some issues throwing the football, but he never really got his head out of the football game, and every time he went out on the field, it was like they were up 45-0.
It was. You've got to really appreciate that the junior quarterback was able to keep his composure there, but you'd like to do without some of those mistakes. 2 interceptions last week. He fumbled the ball a few times, lost one. So, 3 turnovers on the night. You lose that battle to a team like Peters Township, you might be able to get away with that against Penn Hills, but tonight they've got to be a little sharper, a little crisper, and it all starts with the quarterback for them to get a victory here tonight.
And obviously one thing, it's going to be pretty difficult to be successful against a defense like Peters Township because that's really their bread and butter. They are a defensive-minded football team. 2 guys on their defense, a safety and a linebacker heading to the Division I level next year. 1 to Miami at the linebacker, the safety headed to Florida.
And they've got a ton of ball hawks back there. They've got guys that can really make big splash plays. I mean, you look at early in the season, Braylon Carrington having 4 interceptions, 2 returned for a touchdown in 1 game, over 5 interceptions total on the season. You've got some real playmakers there on the defensive side of the ball, so taking care of the ball and really dotting those I's, crossing those T's, going to be a premium focus here for this Gateway offense to keep them in the game and to keep them in a position where they can advance to the next round into the title game.
Talking about that linebacker, Corbin Hondrew, a verbal commit to Miami. He started since his freshman year at Peters Township. His father, his uncle, and his cousin all played football at Delaware. His sister pitches at Delaware, and his grandfather played in the NFL, so clearly a big pedigree for him. And, of course, we can't forget about talking about Donovan McMillan, who's headed to the University of Florida. the 6'2 senior defensive back who has really been a remarkable player for the Peters Township defense.
And that's one of the reasons that Carrington on the other side has made so many plays, because they're not throwing to that side of the field against McMillan, which opens up things for other people on the defense to make plays. So we'll see what that looks like here tonight, what Engelke does, how he approaches, and how Don Hall approached the play calling for this game. But I tell you what, we got a rematch of last year's title game, and surefire bet to be a really good game here tonight.
Driving rainstorm last year at Norwin High School in the WPIAL finals, and it was a 1-point win for the Gateway Gators over the Peters Township Indians. Gateway will receive to begin this football game. Peters Township will kick off, and it will be left to right across your computer screen with that kickoff for Andrew Masucci, the place kicker. And we are underway in Monroeville, PA. A short kick, which will take a bounce, and Diego Bledsoe will cover it up. A little bit of confusion there, but Bledsoe on the spot jumps on top of it, and it'll be first down and 10 for Gateway at the 25.
Yeah, heady play there by a senior to just jump on that ball, not try to force anything here a few seconds into the game. You still have the ball with decent field position at the 25. It's better than a touchback, so you take it, fall on it, and get ready for this offense to come out and execute. Going to be really interested, as we said. They've got some ball hawks. Do they open it up here, or do they go ground and pound early on in the game? Going to be real interesting to see how they involve Derek Davis there in the backfield.
Gators start off in the shotgun. Davis, the sidecar to the right-hand side of Engelke. Twins to either side. Engelke running the option right. Pitches to Davis. Davis to the 30. Pushing his way forward to the 35. Be pretty close to a first down for the Gateway Gators.
Excellent pitch there. Getting that out right at the right moment. Putting it right into the hands of Davis. Take another look at it. Fakes it for a minute, makes that defensive player commit to tackling the quarterback, and then allows Davis to spring forward for gain of about 10 yards there.
So they will give the Gators the first down, and again, same formation on the right hash this time. Engelke hands off, Davis left, then dances his way back right. Well, he'll pick up a couple of yards. Dante Lahet, amongst others, involved in the tackle for the Peters Township Indians.
I like the strategy of getting Davis involved here early, force this defense to stop him. The more he gets the ball, the harder he is to tackle as games go on. We've seen he is elusive, he's physical, he is not afraid to initiate contact, and he's going to make you work for every tackle, and he's always liable to bust one or two big ones early in games.
Engelke in the shotgun, straight drop back, steps to his right, pumps once, pressured to the sideline, and the pass nearly intercepted. He was looking for, I think, Davis out of the backfield. Stepping in front was Nico Pate, and the incomplete pass brings up third down and 8 for the Gators.
Yeah, I was looking for Engelke, who was being pressured there, to throw that one away. Caught a break there. If that one would have been caught, not sure there would have been much of a return. Looked like the linebacker was falling out of bounds there towards the end. But still, you're giving the ball up on the wrong side of the field, so you live to fight another day, but a risky throw there by the quarterback.
Engelke again in the shotgun with twins to either side. Looks right the whole way. Pass intended for Bodie as well, short. And that'll bring the punt unit on for the Gateway Gators, you do assume.
Breakdown in coverage there by or breakdown in blocking by the offensive line. You take a look there, have a blitzer coming through unscathed. Believe that was number 10, Corbin Hondrew, the senior. That's the last person you want to forget to block, as he came in and laid a hit on Engelke, made him get that ball out earlier than he wanted to and wasn't able to deliver it to his receiver.
Good snap from Engelke to Jenkins, and Jenkins gets the boot away. Knuckling punt that'll take a big bounce in favor of Gateway and roll inside of the 20, where it will be downed by the long snapper Carson Engelke.
That bounce really helped the Gators out there. That one kind of hung up for a bit, was a bit of a wobbler. We've seen Jenkins with a little better performance at parts of the season, and so luckily they pin them back inside the 20, make a long field here for the offense for Peters Township, and they've got some playmakers on this side of the ball as well. We'll see if they go run heavy here to start in their first drive.
Logan Pfeiffer, hands off, ball carrier running left. is Nico Pate, and Pate picks up a couple from the 20 out towards the 23, so they'll give him 3, bringing up 2nd down and 7.
Number left tackle, stopped by Dow. 2nd down.
And Nico Pate leads the rushing attack, 60 carries on the season, 380 yards, averages about 6.3 per.
This time Pfeiffer's going to keep it himself, but nothing doing for him as he is wrapped and brought down at the line of scrimmage by Jameer Harbor. Also Dow involved in the tackle.
We've seen this Gators defense do a really good job against the RPO. Staying at home, staying in their assignments, not over-committing, and they've done a good job of ensuring that they're not over-pursuing to the wrong ball carrier and staying at home in case the quarterback does decide to keep it. You saw it there. Minimal, if no gain whatsoever there. Good defensive stop.
So 3rd and 7 for Peters Township. They'll split trips to the right. Pfeiffer looks right the whole way, throws to the near boundary, and the pass is incomplete, intended for Donovan McMillan. He lands out of bounds. Coverage on the play by Bodie. Also Price in the vicinity. And that'll bring the punt unit on for the Peters Township Indians. And back deep to return for the Gateway Gators, this time Malachi Moore. And the punter is the aforementioned Corbin Hondrew, 6'1" senior. Not going to change his uniform much next season, as he'll be a Miami Red Hawk, same colors as the Peters Township Indians. Great snap. Hondrew takes 1 step to his right and then boots it away, trying to keep it away from the Gateway return man, but Malachi Moore will retreat, pick a couple of yards from shy of his own 35 to across the 40.
Took what you were given there, spring forward for a few yards, get the ball over the 40-yard line, and set yourself up with some really good field position. We saw Moore get more action in the punt return game after Bodie struggled early in the season, fumbled a few. Moore's been pretty steadfast back there, and now he sets the offense up with a short field here. See if they can get a little bit more momentum going after only getting 1 first down on the last drive.
2 receivers right, 1 to the near side left with a wing to the left as well. Some movement by Bledsoe. And at first the flag didn't come out, but then the official on the near boundary does toss the flag. And he'll go talk to Bill Heidkamp, our referee. And false start against Gateway is going to cost them 5 yards, and it'll be 1st down and 15 for the Gators from their own 37-yard line. Today's playoff broadcast brought to you in part by Job Funeral Home and Crematory for area locations. Option right. Davis finds a big hole. He's off to the races 50, trying to cut it back. Instead, he'll stay on his feet and brings it to the near boundary where he'll be forced out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Nice play by Donovan McMillan to keep his feet and not overcommit to Davis, preventing a touchdown, but still a big 1st down for Gateway.
Perfectly timed pitch, and then you take a look at just how elusive Davis is. He plants those feet, freezes up the defender for 1 second, and we see that acceleration that he has. He just zips by that front layer of the defense and forces the secondary, and McMillan, as you mentioned, to make a play to prevent the touchdown.
Engelke with a wing to his right and 2 receivers right. He'll hand off. Davis has a hole up the gut. And he will pick up a couple, maybe 3, before he's dumped down. Dante Lahette on the tackle. Also Hondrew involved in the stop for Peters Township.
Nothing wrong with that. Keep that ground game going strong, because as we saw, you might get 3 here, 2 there, but it only takes that 1 play to really break things open.
2nd and about 7. Engelke with a gap. He'll pick up the 1st down inside of the 25, approaching the 20-yard line. Engelke made the decision very quickly to cut it upfield, and a heady decision there by the junior QB.
He knew exactly what he wanted to do there. The last couple plays, obviously, they got gashed by Davis on the pitch there. They're over-committing to that a little bit, so the fake pitch throws the defense off, and he's able to cut it forward for a 1st down. That was really awesome.
So Engelke getting the play from the sidelines. The Gators with 2 receivers and a wing to the right, 1 receiver to the near side left in Jaden Hurt. Engelke gets the snap, play action, looks for Hurt down that left sideline, and it is batted away at the last possible moment by Sam Miller, the defensive back.
I like the thought process there, going to the air for the first time tonight. You get a one-on-one matchup. You go over the top to one of your top playmakers on the outside. And looked like a good ball. I think Hurt should have potentially came down with that. I mean, a good defensive play, don't get me wrong, but I think Hurt's got to come down with that one. It was right in the breadbasket.
Yeah, I thought that ball was deflected by Hurt, or rather by Miller, but it really just caromed off of the hands of Hurt. Play clock down to 10 as Gateway faces a 2nd down and 10. Price comes in motion. Engelke running right. And he'll cut it up inside and will be brought down. No gain on the play. Brings up 3rd down and 10. It was an interesting design play. Looked like it was designed for Engelke to maybe run kind of an option with Price, the motion man. But Peters Township anticipating that one well and kept Engelke at no gain.
Yeah, they stuck on the receiver out there, the runner Price. It looked like they were going to, kind of shovel that one out there. Good job by the Indians defense to not overcommit there.
Engelke, empty set, looking right the whole way, flush to his right. Still flushed, and he will toss that one over to the far sideline. I think Davis was in the vicinity, and there will not be an intentional grounding on the play. Bill Heidkamp, I think, did point over in that area to say there was an eligible receiver in the intended path.
Yeah, and he was obviously in the process of being dragged down at the same time, which influences how far the throw is going to go as we look at the replay here. But yeah, looks like Price was over there on the far side. And good pressure there coming in at the last minute by the linebacker to be able to slow that one down. Now we're going to get a long field goal here, about a 40-yarder here. See if they can knock this one through.
Big attempt for Jenkins, 40-yarder. Great snap by Engelke. Good hold down. And that one is boom. That one would have been good from maybe 50 or 60 yards. What a big kick by Jenkins. And that is the way you execute a field goal. Engelke with the snap, the hold by Livesey, and the kick up and in for Jenkins.
Yeah, Engelke's had a few issues throughout the season here and there with snaps. That one was right on the money. A beautiful hold. You want those laces out. Jenkins able to get a great boot on it. Like you said, Adam, that one had a lot of distance. That was a no-doubter there by Jenkins, and it puts Gateway on the board first.
So Gateway on top 3-zip with 7:16 to play here in quarter number 1. Let's send down to the sidelines. Rick McIntyre, what's the feel now that Gateway was able to get the ball moving a bit on offense after shutting down the Indians defensively?
As that drive was continuing there, you could see a little more life on the sidelines here. Not the best outcome there, getting away with 3, but I tell you that was one heck of a 40-yard kick for a high school kicker. That's about as big of a kick as I've seen in quite a number of years at this level. Yeah,
that was a great kick by Jenkins. Good to see him come through with the big 40-yarder. Rick, what'd you think about the way the Gators were able to move that football?
Well, I think they started out, doing exactly what you were saying in the pregame, Adam. Just keep it churning, get the ball to Davis early, make them stop them, and then they kind of got away from that a little bit in that last series. And I think that if they want to do, the play around plays, get that big first yardage chunk with Davis, and then set up a nice play.
Jenkins after the big field goal. Then booms a kickoff back into the end zone for a touchback. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Peters Township at the 20-yard line.
And again, looking at that kick by Jenkins, as you advance into the this section of the playoffs, you're playing incredibly quality opponents moving forward, and being able to have that asset in your back pocket of someone that can nail a kick like that in the dying moments of a game, that could be the difference between pulling a game out or seeing your season end.
So Pfeiffer talking things over as he looks to step under center. Now will take a step back. Sidecar to his left-hand side, and the handoff will go to that sidecar, Nico Pate. And Pate drives his way forward for about 3 yards from the 20 to the 23, where he's brought down by a host of black jerseys. Aiden Smith involved in the stop, also in on the tackle, Bonzi Parks.
So far, so good. This has been a team that has done a real great job against the run. They gave up some yardage last week to Penn Hills. Amir Key was really dicing through the defense before he went down with an injury. So I'm sure that was a point of emphasis in practice this week. Fumbled snap.
So an errant shotgun snap, and Pfeiffer has to cover it up. And that'll be a loss of 8 on the play, bringing up 3rd down and 15 from the 15.
So far, no momentum generated whatsoever. No first downs, and now you're in the shadow of your own end zone almost. Here, if you're the Indians, you just got to try and be careful here. This is, you know, as much as the secondary gets a lot of attention for Peters Township, there's some real athletes and ball hawks back on the back end of this Gators defense. If they're not careful, and there's a bad throw, might see it going the other way.
Empty set as Hondru motions from right to left for the Indians, bringing trips to the left of the formation. Toss to the near side right, and the pass is incomplete as Pfeiffer was looking for McMillan. He didn't have a whole lot of room in front of him anyway, but the incomplete pass brings up 4th down and 15, and the punt unit on for the Peters Township Indians.
That was snuffed out real well. You know, even that pressure coming in there forced that throw a little high as Pfeiffer's clock probably sped up a little bit as he saw some defenders getting to him pretty quickly. So good job being able to throw that off there. Now the Gators rather have a chance to really build on some momentum from that last drive.
Punt away for Hondru, and it will be caught near midfield, and a very nice return for Malachi Moore. Moore, who is listed as a linebacker on the defensive side, 5'11", 187-pound sophomore, so not slight by any stretch of the imagination. Picked up about a dozen where there was probably only 5 or 6 to be picked up initially.
I was getting real nervous at him. You see an over pursuit there by Pat McDonald, the junior. I thought he was going to lay the boom on Moore, who was waiting for that one to come down, but luckily he's able to make that first man miss. Moore with some moves of his own, and now, again, the Gators set up with incredibly great field position for the second time tonight.
Yeah, the football at the left hash at the 38-yard line as Engelke throws it across the middle. It's complete to that's Shamar Price. And Price dancing around one defender, finally brought down as he approaches the 25-yard line. And it'll be a first down for Gateway, a pickup of a dozen.
I don't think we talk enough about how hard it is to bring Price to the ground. You know, for how much attention Davis gets, Bodie, Hurt. Price, anytime he's gotten the ball, it's almost like they always call him down for forward progress before the defenders can get him down to the ground. He's tough.
Option left, Engelke cuts it up, cuts to the right-hand side, and will pick up a couple of extra yards for the Gateway Gators, a pickup of 3, bringing up 2nd down and 7.
I want to go back to that last play, too. Engelke putting that ball right on the money, leading his receiver well. That was the kind of throw we saw Engelke making early in the season where it looked like he had some real great chemistry. After that 3-week break from the games that were canceled due to COVID, we saw Engelke lose a little bit of that rapport with his receivers, but that was a great throw there.
Engelke, play action, throws to the left-hand side where the pass is complete, and still on his feet is the receiver Jaden Hurt, who is finally forced out of bounds somewhere around the 12-yard line, where it'll be first down and 10 for Gateway as Jaden Hurt absorbs the blow and keeps on going.
Not only absorbed it, but then used it and doled it right back out. I think that was Sam Miller who was trying to bring him down, and he just hit him like a sledgehammer. So we take another look. Great throw there. No, it was actually number 2 there, Jacob McCosco. My goodness, Hurt. These receivers playing physical here early. You love to see it.
Again, the ball on the left hash, 1st and 10 at the 12. Gateway looking left the whole way. Engelke finds Davis, and Davis will get back to the line of scrimmage and no further as Vincent Sirianni makes the tackle for the Peters Township Indians.
Good job staying at home there and not, you know, taking the bait there on the little dump screen pass to the running back, but not a bad play call. You want to get the ball into the hands of your playmakers on the outside. You get it to Davis, who's your most effective weapon and your leading touchdown scorer. But just a good job there. Good form tackle in open field there. So it looks like that was, yeah, as you said, Sirianni.
Engelke looking for Hurt in the end zone, incomplete off of the play action to Davis. Hurt had gotten a step in front of the defender, Sam Miller, but the incomplete pass brings up 3rd down and 10 at the 12. And again, we see this Gateway drive starting to stall as they get closer to scoring position.
Yeah, these are the areas where execution becomes a little harder and you've got to pay attention. There's less room to work with as the field gets shorter. See if they can make a big play here. They can still pick up the first down without getting into the end zone. So you see a couple big scores, 6A final there in your bottom corner.
Angle K off of play action, looks left, throws left, and a diving attempt at the catch for Jaden Hurt, but that is incomplete. And that'll bring up 4th down and 10 from the 12. And Don Hall, without even thinking about it, sends that field goal unit on.
Well, as long as you can get that snap down, there's no reason to think that Jenkins can't execute. Ball is around, it's right on the left hash. It was just inside of the left hash the last time, so he's kicking from a favorable position. As a lefty, no-brainer after nailing the 40-yarder.
Good snap, hold down, kick up, and that field goal is good. And with 4:01 to play in the first quarter, now 4 minutes to play in the first quarter, Gateway has doubled up their lead 6-0 on the Peters Township Indians. And again, Angle K, Livesey, Jenkins, the 3 parts work in harmony for a field goal for the Gateway Gators.
Yeah, and that one a little shorter, a 28-yarder, but again, putting quite the boot on it and making sure there was no doubt about that one. But still, you want to see some punctuation on these drives of some touchdowns. I mean, this is still a one-possession game, and you're one play away from the Indians tying this one up when they really haven't played all that well here in the first quarter. So if you're the Gators, you want to find a way to put a little more pressure on the Indians, put a little more urgency, on them to produce. So far, their defense is bent but not broken against the Gators.
Let's send it back down to the sideline. Rick McIntyre, defense looking good, offense driving the football, but just can't punch it in yet.
Yeah, I think you summed it up really well earlier, talking about when you get into that red zone, if the area gets real tight, everything gets a little bit more precise, and really execution is the name of the game down there. For Gateway, I think all year they haven't had to be in there too much because so many of their plays have been the big splash, 70, 80-yard touchdowns. So I think they're getting a good dose of what it's like to be in a high-pressure situation, short yardage to score.
Jenkins again with the kickoff, this time to about the 1-yard line, so Peters Township with an opportunity to return this kick. And I think it was Cullen on the return, or was it McMillan? It was McMillan, number 3 for Peters Township. And he'll get out to around the 15, maybe 16-yard line. We'll see where they spot this football officially. And taking a look to where they set the sticks on the far sideline, pushing more towards the 19.
Yeah, a little over pursuit there. You saw Price sort of fly by there and not break down. That's always the key. Getting down the field quickly is the first half of it, but then making sure you slow those feet, get your body squared up to the tackler. A little bit of over pursuit there, gave up a couple extra yards, but still a good job by the coverage team.
Pfeiffer in the shotgun, bunches to both sides. Forward pass on the pitch coming from left to right was Hondrew, and Hondrew has basically nowhere to go. He'll be banged around and brought down just across the 20 as Hunter Dow leads the charge for Gateway, who has a bit of a hitch in his giddy-up.
A whole lot of effort there to gain 1 yard by Hondrew. You appreciate the effort, but my goodness, look at the ability. Again, these guys don't over-pursue on defense. The Gators, a lot of veterans down there keeping everything in front of them, not allowing the runner to get towards the sidelines. Because of that, only 1 yard gain.
Pfeiffer steps towards the line of scrimmage to bark out the play with trips to the left and one receiver to the near side right. Pfeiffer throwing left. The receiver had a step on the defensive back over there, but the pass too strong for the intended receiver, Braylon Carrington.
Third down.
That'll bring up 3rd down as Carrington got a step, I think, behind Bonzi Parks.
Yeah, that's a big break there. Pfeiffer just put a little bit too much on this one. Had his receiver, even in double coverage, he had a nice open area to put that on the outside shoulder and just missed the mark on that one.
So that brings up 3rd down and about 8 for Peters Township with the ball at the right hash. Just past the 20, the line to gain is the 29. Trips left, one receiver right. Pfeiffer looks left, throws left. The pass is complete as Jacob McCosco pulls that one in, and he is brought down by Shane Thrift.
Good timing, good throw, good catch, and that's the first sign of life we've seen from this Peters Township offense tonight. They've really struggled to get things in gear, but they've got their first down of the night. They got the ball out towards the 40-yard line now.
Pfeiffer tosses it across the middle, intended for Corbin Hondrew, but step for step with him was Jaden Hurt, and the pass by Pfeiffer was off the mark anyway.
Yeah, he's been throwing, he's just been sailing them so far tonight. You know, we saw that throw towards the outside where he led McMillan out of bounds on the first drive. We've seen a couple where he's just gone over top of the receiver. A couple screen plays they tried to set up, even those were going out towards the sidelines and over the top. So he's got to rein it in a little bit here and put it where his receivers can make a play on it.
Trips left, 2 receivers right, empty set for Pfeiffer. Motion man is Hondrew from left to right, settling trips to the right of the formation. Pfeiffer throws to the right-hand side, where he finds Braylon Carrington, who steps around a defender and finally shouldered out of bounds by Aiden Smith, but inside of Gators territory at the 43, where it'll be first down and 10 for Peters Township.
Patrick Bodie got sucked in there, which allowed Carrington to get to the sidelines. That's something that the Gators have done so good this season is, you know, prevent those receivers from getting the ball out towards the sidelines and getting a lane to run with there. Just an unfortunate play there, but a great gain by the Indians. And now they're in business, and again, have a chance to tie this one up and go ahead by a point here if they can get into the end zone.
Clock stop, 2:53 to play first frame. Pfeiffer, some confusion. Play clock winding down to 5. Straight drop back. Pfeiffer looks left, flushed out of the pocket, running right, tosses it to the near boundary as there were 2 Gators all over him in Bledsoe and Dow, and the incomplete pass brings up second down and 10.
Dow got a good lick on Pfeiffer there right as the ball was let go. See if we're able to see it here on the replay. Bledsoe brings him down from behind, and you see bang right there. Dow making Pfeiffer think about it as he lets that one go. Good pressure. They haven't gotten a ton of that yet tonight. No sacks just yet. We've seen this Gators defense really have a lot of success with that front 7. They're going to need to get a little more pressure on Pfeiffer to make sure he doesn't get into a rhythm here.
Shotgun on second down and 10. Pfeiffer with a sidecar to his left, play action. Pfeiffer pressured, dumps it off to the feet of a offensive lineman. Now there was an eligible receiver in the vicinity, so the officials will not throw a flag for intentional grounding, but that's a hairy situation where it could be illegal touching because an offensive lineman touched the ball first on a pass.
Well, talked about needing to get pressure to throw the quarterback off his rhythm, and right on cue, Jacques Taylor, the heart and soul of the defense, comes knifing through and gets a couple hands on the quarterback there and alters that throw. That's what needs to happen. Keep this offense on its toes, keep it out of rhythm, and try to get the ball back here.
And there's going to be a penalty against the Peters Township Indians because the motion man, Jacob McCosco, was motioning from the left boundary towards the left hash, and he never set, and I think he actually took a step forward in the process. And there's a flag on the near sideline as well, so the officials are going to have to talk things over. I don't know what the story is with the flag on the near side, but I did see on the far side.
Well, depending how this ends up, it might actually be a break for Peters Township. That ball was thrown short of the sticks. They were not going to get the first down there if that play would have stood, so it might give them another crack at third down here.
So Bill Heidkamp talking things over with his officiating crew. And now he's talking to Gateway head coach Don Hall. Hall with 50 victories in his 5th season here at Gateway.
And it's only taken him 61 games to do it. Has a 13-4 playoff record. I mean, he has really created something special here at Gateway.
So an illegal shift against Jacob McCosco is the call, and that'll cost them 5 yards. And the Indians are backed up to the 48-yard line. Two receivers to either side. Pfeiffer off of play action. Steps forward. He's hit. He's banged around. And he's brought down for a 2-yard loss as Hunter Dow and Kelvin Nelson converge on Pfeiffer.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. Gang tackling, getting there in tandem. We saw earlier it was Bledsoe getting to the quarterback first and Dow laying the second hit. This time it's Dow getting the initial contact and Kelvin Nelson making sure that Pfeiffer was not going to get loose whatsoever. And after giving up a couple long plays through the air, a good job of getting pressure and throwing Pfeiffer off of his game. Now the Gators get to keep the Indians off the board and get a chance to get the ball back, see if Moore can break one here after a couple good returns earlier.
And finally, Hondrew decides to put his foot into this one as he took a couple of steps to the right. And I don't know if he had the option or not, but you're not going to be able to convert on a 4th and 15 against the punt safe unit of the Gateway Gators on a fake punt opportunity. And I think the Gateway is going to keep their punt safe unit out there for the majority of this game just because of the threat of having a guy like Hondrew as the punter.
Yeah, I mean, he's done that multiple times this season. That was something that was noted coming into this contest, was that was an option that they really liked to take advantage of from time to time, was Hondrew running that fake. You see the rugby-style punt kind of affords that opportunity because it can freeze up defenders and allow him to take off. They ran it twice successfully against South Fayette. That was a difference in a 17-3 win. See if they utilize that later in this contest.
It ended up being a great punt by Hondrew as well. Rolled all the way down to the 2-yard line where it'll be 1st down and 10 for the Gateway Gators as they set up in the pistol for, I think, the first time today in the handoff. Davis running right. He's got some greenery in front of him and a blocker as well. Davis down that far boundary to the midfield stripe on the cutback. Still on his feet. Dodges a tackle. Dives his way forward for a nice pickup for the Gateway Gators. And Gateway with a huge 55-yard pickup on 1st and 10 from around the 2-yard line. And for some reason, there's a flag back at the 15. If they call holding on that receiver on that far sideline, that is a sin of sins.
That's right around where that flag is. It looked like a good block.
Wow. That is preposterous if that is what this call is. Because it certainly looked like the receiver over there on that far sideline, as Davis was sprung down the boundary, had a clean block. Holding against Gateway. Wow. See if we have a good look at the block as Davis was sprung to that far sideline. Oh my goodness, Bodie had a clean block. Maybe he grabbed the jersey for a second, but certainly got the push away, and that was more than enough to spring Davis. I think that was pretty much inconsequential. Wow. I mean, that's really ticky-tack. Gateway goes to the ground again as Davis needed a blow after that 55-yard carry that the majority of which was negated. And this time it was Jameer Harbor getting close to 1st down yardage.
Interior line.
Always frustrating anytime a borderline call takes away a tremendous effort by an individual player. I mean, Davis's ability there to stop on a dime along the sidelines and cut that back in, I mean, that was an incredible run.
Angle K throws to that far boundary for Bodie, well off the mark, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 1.
Pass intended for Bodie. Incomplete.
Well, 3rd and 1, I think you keep it simple here. I wouldn't be opposed to lining Nelson up back there and just allowing one of your larger options there. I mean, you're talking about 6 foot tall, 245 pounds of muscle, and a senior who's done a good job of going north to south all season with the ball. See what they end up doing here. Looks like they're going to keep one of their other options. They're going to keep Harbor, the 205-pound junior, in the backfield.
Angle K pulls it out of the belly of Harbor and throws to Bodie on that far sideline. And this time, the pass right on the spot to Bodie, who is brought down on that far boundary after picking up the 1st down by Braylon Carrington. So Gateway, after the big play, still able to keep the ball moving. And, you know, it keeps the Peters Township offense off the field in the same token.
Good job of staying focused and not allowing yourself to be defeated by the things you can't control. It's unfortunate whether or not, you know, you think that's a proper call or not. It got called. You got to live with it. A good job responding to that adversity.
Toss to the near side left. Diego Bledsoe picks up about 9 on the reception from Angle K, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 1.
Take what the defense gives you, a quick dump over the middle. Bledsoe's able to fall forward for a few more. Actually, a pretty good effort there, yards after the catch, and set yourself up with a very manageable 2nd and short, and the offense is moving once again.
Donovan McMillan on the tackle on that previous play. Gators run the option to the right. Pitch to Harbor. Harbor's got the first down and more as he's forced to the far boundary after picking up that first down on a great execution of the option on the pitch from Engelke.
First down.
So that may be the final play of quarter number 1, as we have less than 10 seconds at this point to go in the quarter, and that'll give both teams an opportunity to take a breather, and we will take a breather as well. Through 12 minutes of football, the score is the Gateway Gators 6 and the Peters Township Indians 0. You're tuned into Gateway Football on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
For over 125 years and 4 generations, the Job Funeral Home and Crematory family and staff has been serving area families with compassionate service and attention to detail. We've proudly designed our locations in Monroeville, Turtle Creek, Penn Township, and Delmont with tranquil settings and convenience for families in their time of need. We would like to thank the great families of the communities we serve for once again selecting us for the Best of the Best Award for the #1 funeral home in the East. Job Funeral Home and Crematory, a name you can most certainly trust.
Just about to begin the second quarter here in Monroeville, Pennsylvania. 6-0 Gateway on top of Peters Township in the WPIAL semifinals. The 2 versus 3 matchup. Other side of the bracket up at Pine Richland High School. It is Penn Trafford taking on the Pine Richland Rams in that football game. And of course, the winners of those 2 aforementioned football games play in the WPIAL championship next Saturday at North Allegheny.
So far, a 7-7 deadlock between Penn Trafford and Pine Richland.
Engelke out of the shotgun, looks across the middle, finds Shamar Price. Price will drive his way forward after retreating to try to find a crease around a defender. And 2 Peters Township Indians converge on the tackle, including Hondrew and Max Short.
Complete to Price.
4 yards on first down is always a win. Sets up a second and manageable. And again, I like that they're going with low-risk plays to get the ball into the hands of their playmakers, because we've seen time and time again these guys can break it, take it to the house.
Peters shows blitz. They send one guy over the right-hand side, but Engelke was able to elude him. And then as he was running right, looking for a receiver, he pumped once, actually lost the football, covered it up himself before Corbin Hondrew was able to get there and maybe recover that ball.
Certainly avoided the worst-case scenario, but, man, what a great job there of eluding the first tackler and making Nico Pate miss, being able to shrug that one off. Unfortunate the play still ended up as a loss, because that was a really great individual effort until the fumble.
Clock winding in the early stages of the second quarter. Engelke in the shotgun, sidecar to his right. Flags fly before the snap, and did an Indian breach the neutral zone, or did a Gators offensive lineman move just a hair early? And that will be the case. It'll be false start against Gateway. And they say it's Price, who was way out there on the far sideline, that moved early. The problem is the flag came from the umpire, who's up the gut.
I saw some movement on the defensive line and thought that might have been the case. I have to take their word for it. I didn't get a good vantage point of it.
So 3rd and a while here for Gateway. Engelke tossing it to Price. Price goes up, and no flag is going to come down. They're going to say that the pass was too high over Price's head. On the coverage for Jacob McCosco, or for Peters Township, was Jacob McCosco. I don't know if I agree with that one. Could have been a situation where, had McCosco not impeded his progress, he could have at least had a better chance to get to that football.
Could definitely make the argument. He definitely put a little bit of a loft on that one, was trying to drop it down over the top, and usually get a flag in a situation like that where a receiver gets bodied while the ball is still in the air. So definitely a legitimate argument you can make.
Good snap, and Jenkins gets the punt away. A beauty, spiraling punt that will be caught on the fair catch by Corbin Hondrew. No, check that. That is Braylon Carrington. And the ball 8 yards shy of the midfield stripe. And, you know, Vince, can't underestimate the effect that the flag that negated the 55-yard run by Davis had on that Gateway drive.
It really took the wind out of the sails of the offense. It really brought them back down to earth after it really looked like they were about to get into motion with some big plays and start to break things open a little bit. And as it stands now, it's still just a 6-0 game. Peters now has the ball at the 42-yard line. They've got an opportunity. Pfeiffer connected on a few throws on the last drive before some pressure came in. See if they can continue some of that momentum on offense.
One back set, Pfeiffer off of play action, tosses it to the right-hand side, and the pass is incomplete. It was in the hands of Hondrew, but I think Bonzi Parks may have had a hand in there to knock it free. And, that was Carrington again. And Carrington has his jersey so tucked up underneath his back plate. I've done that about 3 or 4 times thinking that's 10, not 19.
Yeah, it looked like he just had that one bounce off of the front of his jersey and didn't get his hands on it. But still, great effort by Parks, not giving up on the play and making sure to get in there and try and disrupt that one, even if it was caught.
Trips right, one receiver left. Pfeiffer tosses to the right-hand side, and the ball came loose, and Peters Township has to cover it up. And I'm not sure if a Gateway defender was able to knock that football away from Bryce Thompson or if he was just carrying it like a loaf of bread and just dropped it behind him as he tried to break free to that far boundary.
I think the latter, but we'll get another good look here.
Yeah, did Bodie knock it free? I don't know. Or was Thompson just cavalier with the football and lost it? So the fumble recovery for Peters Township, and it'll be 3rd down and about 13, shy of the 40. Pfeiffer looking right the whole way. Just had the football knocked out of his hands. Diego Bledsoe has it, and he will take it to the house. I don't know if it's a fumble return for its touchdown or an INT, but either way, Diego Bledsoe with a big play for the Gateway Gators.
That one just sort of popped out. Right place, right time. Fell right into the breadbasket. Bledsoe just tears off and is able to have just enough speed to outrun Pfeiffer there, who was closing in. And my goodness, we were waiting for the offense to make a big play. Should have been counting on this defense. It's made, arguably more throughout the season. And I don't know what the heck happened there. That one just sort of, slipped right out of the hands. It's not like it's rainy out there. It's a perfect condition for a football game tonight. But Bledsoe is the recipient of a gift here and takes to the house.
And what's great is that Diego Bledsoe caught it on the fly, so whether it was a fumble or they said his arm was going forward, either way, it's a touchdown for Diego Bledsoe. And the PAT is up and in for Jenkins. And with 9:26 to play, Gateway has extended their lead to 13-0 on Peters Township.
Well, right. I mean, the fact that he caught it makes it a no-doubt touchdown, right? I mean, you could argue that his arm was coming forward, even though it kind of looks like the ball slipped out before the quarterback's arm started coming forward. But nonetheless, the ball didn't hit the ground. There was no, need to interpret or have a review on it or officials conference. It was caught. It was taken to the house. That's 7 on the board. And finally, the Gators have a little bit of room to breathe here, and the defense can pin its ears back, see if they can't get more pressure on Pfeiffer.
Let's send it down to the sidelines. Rick McIntyre, let's talk about the way this Gateway defense has performed through the first quarter plus.
Yeah, absolutely, Adam. That play aside, I'm still kind of excited. That was something else to see from the sideline angle. As soon as that ball came up in the air and it's going in the end zone, I think the entire Gateway team was out, off their feet in the air all at once, screaming. But yeah, this defense has been absolutely solid tonight. And what I'm seeing is the big combination, number 55 and number 7 on that right side. They're just chipping away, and I think you're going to see a lot more defensive plays like that coming forward.
And how about the wheels on Diego Bledsoe, 5'10", 230, and he broke away from Pfeiffer and took it to the house. And of course, 55 and 7, he's talking about Jacques Taylor and Kelvin Nelson along that defensive front for the Gateway Gators. As the end-over-end kick for Jenkins will carry into the end zone for a touchback. Donovan McMillan was trying to keep his feet forward of the goal line, but Bill Heidkamp, one of the most veteran referees in the WPIAL, was right on the spot and was able to see that one.
Yeah, last week, revisiting what Rick had talked about, we came into this game talking about how the offense didn't do enough, but you could equally say the defense has done so much. They did shut out Penn Hills. They kept them off the board the entire game when Penn Hills had some really great opportunities off some turnovers. And again tonight, they've just been absolutely stifling. Impressive to watch.
Peters Township goes to the ground as the ball carrier Nico Pate runs to the left, and that's the first time in a couple of drives we see Peters Township go to the ground and hand it off to the 6-foot junior tailback.
Yeah, they've really been relying on Pfeiffer to make some plays. I mean, he does have 2 2,000-yard passing seasons. He's a 3-year starter, so you definitely have a lot of trust in your quarterback there, but you don't want to become one-dimensional. You want to eat up some clock. You want to have a sustained drive that you can kind of hang your hat on. You don't want to go 3 and out again, give the ball right back to Gateway, down 13.
Empty set for Pfeiffer, looks right, pressured, he's hit, he's wrapped, he is sacked by Hunter Dow.
And it's becoming more and more apparent that this offensive line for Peters is going to have to get coached up on the sidelines. They just have no answers right now for this pass rush of the Gators. They're coming through unscathed now, and they're making life very, very hard for Pfeiffer and this Indians offense.
And that sack by Dow negates everything that Pate picked up on first down, so it's now 3rd down and 10 for Peters Township at the 20. Pfeiffer with the sidecar to his right and twins to either side. Off of play action, steps forward, nowhere to go. 4 Gateway defenders wrapped him and brought him down a couple of yards deep in the backfield. We talked about Dow the play before. He led the charge. Jacques Taylor also involved in on the stop, and Kelvin Nelson.
It looked like for a moment he had Carrington over the middle open, but you look, he brings the ball down quickly and moves forward. I think that clock in his head that we talk about with quarterbacks is starting to speed up because that pressure is coming so quickly. It's just throwing the timing off for the quarterback.
So Malachi Moore, the return man, as this punt by Corbin Hondrew, not a pretty one, but will take a big bounce in favor of Peters Township. And I think it was Davis who had a beat on the football, may have had an effect on the way Hondrew kicked that ball.
He definitely had less time to dance around back there on the rugby punt and had to get that one out a little bit quicker. But even still, that takes a bounce. But the Gators still get it at around midfield, 3rd time tonight with some great field position.
A remarkably beautiful night for the first Friday in November. Clear skies, 55 degrees, a little humid, which makes it a little damp, but overall just a beautiful evening. Just 4-mile-an-hour winds, just an incredible couple of days we've had here in Western Pennsylvania. And quite frankly, every Friday night this season, other than maybe 1 or 2, has been beautiful weather for high school football.
I was going to say, when we went to Woodland Hills, we froze on the bleachers a little bit, but my goodness, it's gorgeous tonight.
Toss to the near side for Price. Price had a blocker, picks up some yardage, absorbs a blow as he takes it into Peters Township territory, and they'll mark him out somewhere around the 48, maybe the 49. So pick up a 5, brings up 2nd down and 5. Nice patience there for Price to allow the block to set up in front of him.
Absolutely, and then he's able to get it to the outside. Good gain on 1st down once again. You take a nice chunk out at 2nd and 5. That opens the playbook up. You feel comfortable continuing on with the air game. You can go to the ground here. See if they get Kelvin Nelson involved here.
Engel K. I don't think he had anywhere to go with that football and just decided to throw it off of the helmet of Kelvin Nelson, which, isn't the worst thing that you can do in that circumstance because he's an eligible receiver and you don't end up losing anything but a down.
Yeah, Adam, when I said they should get him involved, it's not exactly what I had in mind as you kind of look at him, take the doink there right off of the helmet. But, I mean, like I said, you gain 5 yards on 1st down. You come back here on 3rd down now. It's not the end of the world. You don't have a ton of ways to go to pick this one out.
So it's 3rd and 5. The line to gain is the 44. Engel K glances back at the play clock, and I think Gateway's going to have to use a timeout here.
Timeout.
So a timeout by Gateway, and we thank you for joining us. This playoff broadcast brought to you in part by the Job Funeral Home and Crematory with 4 area locations serving families in need. Don't forget, help support the Gateway Gators by participating in the online 50-50 raffle. Download the Raffles Now app and search Gateway Football Boosters. Their winner will be picked after the game and will be notified via email and within the app. Also, the boosters still have Gold Card discount cards available. Gold cards offer discounts at Papa Rocks in Haymaker Village, the North Park Lounge in Murraysville, area McDonald's restaurants, Buffalo Wild Wings in Penn Center, and the Gateway Grill, as well as other area restaurants and stores. For more information, visit www.gatewayfootballboosters.com. Adam Gusky, Vince Russo on the call for you here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. High above the field, Rick McIntyre prowls the sidelines for us.
Worth noting, with this 3rd and 5 looming, Pine Richland has taken a 14-7 lead over Penn Trafford in the other semifinal game here in 5A.
One back set, Engel K on 3rd and 5. Throws to the near side right, and the pass was early before Bodie was out of his break, and that'll bring up 4th and 5. And the punt unit's going to come on here, but this is a circumstance where do you try the fake, maybe snap it to the up man, Kelvin Nelson, who's used to having the ball in his hands, or do you boot it away and try to pin Peters Township back?
If you're asking me, I think you boot it. You try and pin him deep. The offense has not really shown a whole lot of signs of life, so you try and continue to win that field possession battle that they've done so well with tonight.
Looks like they are going to boot it away as the snap is a little high, but Jenkins pulls it in, and Carrington on the fair catch for Peters Township, just shy of the 20. And they'll say he fair catches it at the 19, where it'll be 1st down and 10 for Gateway. And Vince, starting to get a little familiar here with the way the offense is starting to stagnate in the 2nd quarter, just like we saw last week against the Penn Hills Indians.
Yeah, you wonder if there's some complacency up 13-0, and you got to give credit to the other side. Peters has been known for their defense this season. They've been holding opponents to just 9.8 points per game overall. This is only the 3rd game all season now in 8 games where they've allowed more than 1 score to an opponent. So, credit where credit's due. This is a really good defense they're facing tonight.
Trips right, tight end to the left. Set back to the left of Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer looks right, throws right. The pass is complete. But a big hit laid by Diego Bledsoe as Bonzi Park held up the receiver, Carrington.
It's one thing this defense does really well. They make you earn it, and they're going to come in and they're going to lay the boom. They love initiating contact there. You see, again, you got to be careful there, hitting up high a little bit, but you want to make these guys hear footsteps and think twice about initiating contact on the offensive side of the ball.
Pickup of about 5 brings up 2nd down and 5 as again Peters Township goes to the ground for a rare running play, and Nico Pate picks up a couple, and then we'll dive forward to get close to that 1st down flag, but it'll be still 3rd down and about 1.5.
A little surprised they haven't gotten Pate more involved in the offense. Has 5 rushing touchdowns on the season. Had 112 yards and 2 scores last week. So far, he's only gotten a few spot carries, and they've relied heavily on the passing game.
Nice open field tackle by Thrift to prevent the 1st down. So now it's 3rd down and about 1.25 yards for Peters Township. Hand off to Pate. He's hit in the backfield. He has nowhere to go. Great strength by Hunter Dow to keep Pate from breaking away, as at the time, Hunter Dow was still engaged with the offensive lineman.
Yeah, and he wrapped him up high, which is ideally not what you want to do, but obviously Dow was coming off of, the block that was placed there by big number 63, and a good job of holding things up. That was Dylan Wente there. He was able to get past it. And great effort, great strength, and just exactly what you needed after the offense stalls out. Now you continue to win this field position battle.
True snap by Hondrew, and a knuckler will again bounce in favor of Peters Township, but will die not far from the midfield stripe. They'll say at around the 47, maybe the 46, but still great field position regardless for the Gateway Gators. Again, taking a look at the other half of that bracket, Pine Richland has opened up now a 14-7 lead on the Penn Trafford Warriors. Both of those teams vying for one of the 2 spots in the WPIAL 5A championships next Saturday at 7 o'clock at North Allegheny. And that'll be a very short trip for Pine Richland if they end up in that game.
See, now if Penn Trafford can put some points up on the board, we've seen some teams hang with the Rams early, but by the time the second or third quarter comes around, that starts to broaden and they start to run away with the game. See if Penn Trafford can't find a way to get back in it.
And whistles before the snap, and the flag came in from back in the vicinity of delay of game, and I think that will be the call. So delay of game against Gateway is going to cost them 5, so it'll be 1st and 15 from the 41. As Don Hall in his 5th year looks on, I'm sure he's not happy with his team not executing that play fast enough.
You don't expect things like that from a veteran offense to, accumulate losses there on plays that are really just a lapse of focus.
Angle K looking to go across the middle for Shamar Price. Now, Price had a defender underneath and then was in man-to-man coverage with the defensive back, McCosco, but I think it was deflected in the process, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 15.
Which may have actually been fortuitous because, like you said, Adam, that one was thrown into double coverage. So not a really open window to try and put that one into. That would have been a real tough completion.
2nd and 15. Handoff. Davis running left across the 50, inside of the 45 to the 40. And he will be brought down inside of the 35 at the 31-yard line, and a big pickup for Davis. And Vince, I was just thinking to myself, the Gators getting a little pass happy. Let's go back to the ground here, and that's exactly what Gateway does.
Well, credit to Don Hall getting some other playmakers involved, and you kind of lose that focus, and, unbelievable as it may seem, you kind of forget about Davis back there. Then you get the ball to him. You do a nice job of Engel K selling that he might take it, and all of a sudden it's Davis off to the races. And if I am the Gators here knocking on the door, I simplify things and force them to stop Davis because they haven't done it yet.
And a play that we missed as we were in replay was another big run for Derek Davis, this time picking up 13 yards from the 32 to the 19, where Gateway now has the ball inside of the Peters Township red zone at the 19-yard line. Engel K kept it himself this time on the option, but Engel K has nowhere to go. Is in the backfield was Dante Lahette, and that'll be a loss of about 3 to the 22, where it's 2nd down and 13.
A good job sniffing it out there and getting bodies on both sides of that. Maybe now you get away from the RPO. You just go with a quick pitch. Again, simplify things and say, hey, here's our guy. You haven't been able to stop him yet. We're going to keep running him at you until you prove that you can stop him.
Trips right. One receiver left on 2nd and 13 from the 22. Engel K off of play action, tosses it to Bodie. Bodie trying to slide around a tackler and will get close to the 1st down flag as the tackle is made by Braylon Carrington. And they'll say a gain of 10 brings up 3rd down and 3.
Very nice. Good ball. Gets it out there with a good bit of zip on it. Bodie, again, able to fight for a little extra yardage. And now you set yourself up with a very 3rd and manageable. And, at this point, you may even look at this as 4-down territory. You got a great kicker, but if you put 7 more on the board, you really open this one up.
Handoff to Davis, and Davis has nowhere to go as he was met in the backfield by Austin McKinnon. It's a similar situation to last week, Vince, where sometimes when you're going up the gut, maybe bring Nelson into that picture. And if you're running to the boundary or off tackle, that's when you want to get Nelson involved, or rather get Davis involved.
I'm surprised that they don't go with a little more I formation. They've got a really great offensive line. Nelson is just a workhorse back there. Can spell him with a few fullback carries. Would really open up some avenues for Davis.
So another field goal for Jenkins, or an attempt at least, this one of 32 yards. And this one from the right hash is no good. It was just wide to the right-hand side as Jenkins, the left-footed kicker, not exactly his bread and butter, trying to kick from the right hash.
Yeah, tough. It looked like the hold wasn't perfect. A good recovery there as that snap came in a little wonky, but just a little bit of a breakdown there. And again, Gators for the second week in a row so far just not able to bust this game open when they've really dominated on both sides of the ball. But still just a 2-score game here.
A 13-0 is your score with 2:06 to play in the second quarter. Gateway with 2 of their 3 timeouts. Peters Township has their full allotment remaining. Pfeiffer looks right, throws right. The pass intended for Carrington. Behind Carrington. Coverage on the play by Bonzi Parks for the Gateway Gators.
And he's frustrated because he had a step there and would have had an opportunity to get some yards after the reception, but that ball by Pfeiffer just thrown behind. He's really struggled to get any rhythm going tonight, mostly due to that pass rush that the Gators have brought for most of the evening.
And there's a penalty on the field here. Personal foul against Gateway. I guess it was roughing the passer, but I'm not sure. Rick McIntyre, what did you see?
Yeah, Adam, I saw the flag as it came. It was questionable, but I couldn't catch the number of the Gateway player that was coming in from the right side. Just got his head in and just made contact maybe a half beat too late.
So the roughing the passer call gives Peters Township some life as they will go to the air again. Pfeiffer this time to McMillan on that far sideline. And McMillan will pick up about 8 on that play, bringing up 2nd down and 2 with a line to gain the 45.
2nd down, 1.
To the ground go the Peters Township Indians, and the ball carrier Nico Pate found a crease. It closed quickly, but he was able to keep his feet and kind of get shoved forward by the defenders. Finally brought down at the 49 by Jacques Taylor.
Yeah, that was a nice run, good balance, good finish there by Pate, keeping that one moving forward. Ball's at around midfield now. A little bit of momentum going here now for the guys in the white jerseys.
Twins to either side. Sidecar to the left of Pate. The pass is intercepted. Here goes a Gator. It's Jason Jenkins. And no, check that. That is Jameer Harbor with the INT, and he is tripped up inside of the 20 at the 18-yard line. And Jameer Harbor, the linebacker, with the pick. And the Gators have new life with the ball inside of the Peters Township red zone.
Read that one perfectly and snatched it away. They had Carrington open there along the sidelines. That is a huge momentum swing here. The offense finally looked like it was getting in gear for Peters Township here, running that 2-minute drill, a no huddle, and then Gateway stops it right in its tracks.
I don't know if Harbor, maybe he was watching Spillane for the Steelers last week. Because
it was eerily similar.
Yeah, very similar the way he read the quarterback, stepped in front, and intercepted a pass that was intended for the next level. Handoff, Davis cuts it back inside of the 15, where he'll wiggle to the 14. And a pickup of 4 brings up 2nd down and a half dozen.
And really a perfect situation here. You're very likely to go into the half with the shutout. You've got an opportunity to really put an early nail into the coffin here and go up 3 scores. You've got time. You still got 50 seconds left. You don't have to force it.
Angle K off of play action. Looking for Bodie. And Bodie is hurt as he came down.
3rd down.
The athletic training staff out there taking a look at Patrick Bodie. Let's take another look at this one on our replay. Again, Angle K off the play action. And he was hit up high. I think that was Carrington up around the head there. And Bodie got twisted up. Now the officials are talking things over, and I'm sure you can hear the Gateway fans down below us talking about that should have been a flag with that contact towards the head of Patrick Bodie.
Well, there certainly was contact before the ball got to the receiver. So by rule, you would think that would elicit a pass interference call. Worthy of noting, nothing intentional or malicious there. A couple guys just going for the ball and getting tied up. Hopefully Bodie's able to get up here and continue on. really unfortunate to see a guy go down.
Well, the good news is he has gone from prone to sitting up. Now they are looking, I think, at his left knee, which got twisted on the way down. And this is great news as he is helped to his feet. And I think he may just head straight to the locker room. Or will he go to the sideline here? But he's not even getting any assistance, which, again, great news for the Gateway Gators. And, Vince, the only thing I can think about as to why there wasn't pass interference is that pass may have been deflected. And once the pass is deflected, that negates any pass interference. However, you know, the blow to the head, the contact to the head does not disappear in that circumstance. So that was kind of what I was looking for. And the way the pass came out of Engelke's hand, I couldn't tell if it was just a wobbler or if it was actually deflected at the linebacker depth. Gateway option right, Engelke with a crease inside of the 10. And Engelke a week ago against Penn Hills showed his running acumen, and it's good to see him getting back to it today. That's a couple of nice runs for Carson Engelke. And a timeout called, I believe, by Gateway, or no, they're going to continue to let the clock run. I think they're going to let it run here, and now a timeout is called because Gateway got the first down, the clock stopped, and then a couple of seconds ticked off, and Don Hall decides to take a timeout and send it down to the sideline. Rick McIntyre, let's talk about the way that Gateway has been able to be resilient defensively and then maybe be able to turn this into some points here.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like every time they need to step up, we've seen this Gateway defense step up pretty much all season and doing the same thing tonight. I really want to see the offense here at least get something moving, you know, going into the second half and see what kind of adjustments we make at halftime to get this offense maybe a little bit better lubed up.
Now, you had a good look at Bodie as he was coming off of the field. You think just a little hitch in his giddy-up, or you think it's something a little more serious that may cost him some playing time in the second half?
Well, he's getting a lot of attention over here on the sidelines. The fact that he walked off the way he did, he looked pretty good, looked pretty clear. It didn't look like necessarily a shot to the head, but maybe he kind of took a forearm shiver to the neck, and it may have had like a bit of a whipping factor.
Yeah, and they're also taking a look at the legs because that is certainly something that he got twisted on the way down as well. So it's 1st and goal here for Gateway at the 8-yard line with the ball in the right hash. Engelke in the shotgun. Looking right, throwing right, complete to Davis. Davis, he stays on top of a defender and crawls his way to the sideline to stop the clock to keep the timeout in the pocket of the Gateway Gators.
Short game, 2nd down.
Engelke, shotgun again. Play action, tosses left, the pass complete. And into the end zone go the Gateway Gators across the goal line when Jaden Hurt, he lost the football, which is inconsequential because Price would have scooped it up. But either way, it's a Gateway touchdown on Jaden Hurt's catch and then muscling his way into the end zone.
8 yards on the touchdown. Engelke to Hurt. And now Lindsay will hold. And Jason Jenkins is going to try the extra point.
So unsportsmanlike conduct against Gateway. Bill Heidkamp, I think, wants to talk to the head coach of the Peters Township Indians and see where they want to enforce this penalty. And do they want to push Gateway back or do they want to use it on the kickoff? And I think they're going to push Gateway back on the PAT to at least try to keep some points off the board.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Here's Jenkins to try the extra point.
Decent snap by Engelke. The hold down, and the PAT is up, and this time wide left.
The kick is no good.
So Gateway has missed a field goal and a long point after touchdown after kicking a 40-yard field goal and then a significantly shorter field goal for their first 2 scores of the football game.
High School Sports Network brings the excitement of Western PA high school sports to you. Visit Trick, HSN, and kickoff.com for the latest high school sports news. And the scores, stats, standings, and rankings. And don't forget, tonight's game is being broadcast on WPIAL 95.3 FM.
And as we took another look at that touchdown, the only thing I can see what may have prompted that penalty against the Gateway Gators was Jaden Hurt kind of waving to the Peters Township players as he was coming off of the field. That may have been a taunting situation. So Patrick Bodie lays prone on the training table on the near sideline. He has been given words of encouragement by a couple of his coaches, and now his neighbor and friend, Jock Taylor, comes over. And Bodie is going to be given some crutches to head to the locker room for halftime, and that is not good for Patrick Bodie, who as a 6'2 junior receiver and defensive back is getting significant Division I offers. Jenkins with the pooch run up. I think Gateway may have been offsides. On the delayed run up there, I don't think the Gators over there on the far sideline were anticipating the hesitant run up by Jenkins.
Offside against the Gators, 5-yard penalty.
"15 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Gateway on top, 19-zip. Jenkins booms this one. It'll carry inside of the 5, though, where it will be returned by Donovan McMillan, who caroms off of Gators, runs to the far sideline, then finds a crease up the gut, where he will be wrapped and brought down by Jameer Harbor.
Caught by 42 of the Gators. Harbor.
So Harbor makes that tackle. And that'll bring up first down and 10 for Peters Township at the 28-yard line.
6.2, see if they try and run something here or just hand it off and wait for the second half to start.
Straight drop back for Pfeiffer as he's pressured, tosses it across the middle, intended for Carrington, and that pass is incomplete. That'll stop the clock with 2 seconds to go here.
Second down.
He's had a tough time out there. A couple drops, couple balls that were thrown a little in front or behind him, and you see visible frustration there by number 19. And so the clock stops at 2.9. See if they try and set something up now. They're going to go with a knee here.
So Pfeiffer takes the snap and takes the knee, and that will do it for the first half of football. Gateway goes into the locker room leading the Peters Township Indians 19-0, as the Gateway defense has shown brightly and the offense has moved the ball enough to get the special teams out there and score some points. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll analyze the first half and then send it to the Gateway Marching Band. You're tuned in to Gateway Football on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
For over 125 years and 4 generations, the Job Funeral Home and Crematory family and staff has been serving area families with compassionate service and attention to detail. We've proudly designed our locations in Monroeville, Turtle Creek, Penn Township, and Delmont with tranquil settings and convenience for families in their time of need. We would like to thank the great families of the communities we serve for once again selecting us for the Best of the Best Award for the #1 funeral home in the East. Job Funeral Home and Crematory, a name you can most certainly trust.
Halftime here in Monroeville, Pennsylvania. Gateway on top of Peters Township, 19-0. Adam Gusky, Vince Russo up in the booth. Down on the field, it's Rick McIntyre. And Vince, let's take a look back at that first half where the Gateway offense did what they had to do to move the football. They were able to get 6 points on the board with a couple of field goals. Another field goal attempt that went awry. However, the Gateway defense has played spectacularly today and has really led to a lot of points for the Gateway Gators.
Yeah, this was a tale of two talented defenses coming into this matchup, and so far the Gators have gotten the better of it. You know, as we said, Peters Township had been limiting opponents to 9.8. They got 19 in the first half, so that's a big win. Everything's going well so far if you're the Gators. You can't complain.
Let's talk about a little bit more the way that Gateway defense played through the first 24 minutes of football. A couple of takeaways for Gateway. Their linebacking core with the pick 6, and then Harbor with the big interception to set up the final touchdown of that half.
Yeah, the Drew Bledsoe play was just an absolute gift. But, you know, on the other end of things, that Harbor interception was really the big play of that first half. It really flipped as, you know, they were having some momentum on the offensive side of the ball. They're coming down, look like they might get some points on the board against Gateway's defense, nullify it instantly, and gives them a chance to go the other way late in the half.
Well, Vince and I are going to step away, and we'll send it down to the field, turning it over to the Gateway Marching Band. And if there's time, we'll let you tune in to the Trib Live High School Sports Network halftime show. For Vince Russo, Rick McIntyre, and our entire crew, we'll talk to you again in half number 2. Again, your halftime score, Gateway 19 and Peters Township 0. You're tuned into Gateway Football on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome to the field the 2020 Gateway High School Marching Band. For your enjoyment this evening, the Gateway Band will perform the 2020 show in its entirety, featuring enterprising young men from Star Trek, Venus, bringer of peace, Mars, bringer of war, and Jupiter, bringer of jollity from Gustav Holst's suite, The Planets. With original music by Chad Heine, the Gateway Band is proud to present their 2020 program, Orbit. Now, under the field direction of drum majors Rebecca Burns, David Clark, and Ashwarya Krishnamurthy, it is my pleasure to present to you the Gateway High School Marching Band.
Set to begin half number 2 here in Monroeville, Pennsylvania. Adam Gusky, Vince Russo on the call for you up here in the booth. Down on the field, Rick McIntyre. And as we take a look back at that first half very quickly before the second half kickoff, Vince, it was really remarkable the way the Gateway Gators played defense. We got some unofficial halftime stats. Peters Township held to 48 yards on 28 offensive plays.
Yeah, and it's not too hard to do the math to see they're averaging less than 2 yards per offensive play. Really, outside of a couple long completions by Pfeiffer, they've got nothing going in the run game. They've had a lot of drops on the offensive side of the ball. They've been stagnant. They got to turn it around if they want any hope of getting back into this one.
And if the Gateway offense can put another score on the board, I think it goes a long way to putting this game away and Gateway heading back to the WPIAL title game for the second year in a row.
Asking them to make up 20 points against this Gators defense is already a tough enough challenge. One more score, I think you can put that nail in the coffin.
I have to agree with you there. Now, as we take a look at this second half, I think one other thing that is pivotal for the Gateway Gators is that they need to find some second half offense because they didn't have any against Penn Hills a week ago. Kick by Jenkins, carries into the end zone for a touchback, so Peters Township will start first down and 10 from their own 20-yard line to begin this second half.
Well, and to your point, Adam, I couldn't agree more. If they get one more score on the board and they continue to have that flow, what we saw last week against Penn Hills, they just allowed that game to stay competitive longer than it needed to be. And it just gives you momentum going into what would be a championship game matchup with what now looks like Pine Richland as they have taken a healthy 21-point lead against Penn Trafford.
Peters Township goes to the ground on the first play of half number 2, and it's Nico Pate, the ball carrier. And Pate is brought down. I think Aiden Smith got involved in that tackle. Pickup of about 4 brings up second down and 6. Also Bledsoe involved in that tackle. Of course, Diego Bledsoe with the pick 6 in half number 1. When we get an opportunity, we'll send it down to Rick McIntyre, see what his impression of the Gators was as they came out of the locker room. Peters Township goes to the air and picks up the first down, and now let's bring Rick in. Rick, how the Gators look coming out of the locker room, and what do you expect from Gateway here in half number 2?
Yeah, as the Gators approach the sideline, they look pretty standard, not really anything different up or down from the last couple weeks. Come out, casual, poised, but they look pretty confident. I think this is a big series here, not to let that offense get any momentum after those nice stats for our defense in the first half.
First and 10 for Peters Township. Straight drop back, Pfeiffer looks right, throws right, and the pass is caught. Nice pass by Pfeiffer, dropped right into the arms of the receiver, Donovan McMillan.
Yeah, and that was double coverage, too. Really good job putting that where only his receiver could make a play on it. And a really great catch there by the Florida commit McMillan. And now this offense in business, 3 productive plays in a row. And if you're Gateway, you can't allow a score on this first drive because that makes this a game once again.
Peters Township goes to the ground. Breaking 2 tackles is the tailback, Nico Pate. Pate down the sideline, finally shouldered out of bounds by Jaden Hurt on that far sideline.
Well, we knew that this squad led by TJ Plack, which got to the title game last year, was going to make adjustments at halftime. They were going to come out with a chip on their shoulder. They understood the gravity of this situation, that they needed to get back into this one quickly. And now it's time for Gateway to answer the physicality here.
Again, Pate, the ball carrier, huge hole up the middle, and he will be brought down at around the 1-yard line, and just a gaping hole. And through this first drive, the big difference has been the way that offensive line has played.
They've come out and just punch him right in the mouth. See if Gateway can't get a return blow here.
Handoff, Pate nowhere to go. The Gators were all over that one. I think it was Parks in the backfield before the handoff even happened. And then the play cleaned up by Jacques Taylor and Kelvin Nelson.
Oh, call a number out, and you've got a good shot at it. There were 3 or 4 guys streaming through there. That's exactly what you need here. Don't let up anything easy here.
Pfeiffer, play action. Straight drop back, tosses right, wide open for Nico Pate, a well-designed play to find Pate open on that right-hand side.
Yeah, really good play design. You get all of your receivers going to the one side of the field. You suck a lot of the defensive attention that way, and then you have Pate just sort of slip in underneath along the goal line. An easy pass and catch there. And all of a sudden, we've got ourselves a 2-score game again. See if this offense can't counter for the Gateway Gators.
As the PAT is up and good, and Peters Township strikes the scoreboard for the first time here in half number 2, cutting the Gateway lead down to 12 points, 19-7, and a big 80-yard drive. The majority of it on the ground, but 2 big plays in the air, including the pass from Pfeiffer to Donovan McMillan to pick up big yardage, and then it was capped off on the pass to Pate into the end zone.
Yeah, and that drive in totality took just over 2 minutes to go 80 yards. So, talk about landing a real quick sucker punch. And so you faced some major adversity for the first time tonight if you're the Gators. They made adjustments. Now it's time for you to make adjustments. Coach Don Hall, his record speaks for itself. You don't get to 50-11 without being able to make changes quickly. So we'll see what it looks like the next time that defense is out. But I'm interested to see here how this offense operates. We talked a lot off the air of Davis didn't really get all that involved in the first half at times, but when he did, he made big plays. See if they lean on him a little bit more here in the second half.
Pate and Davis back to receive.
So after Masucci kicked the PAT, he's out to kick off, and it will be a short pooch, and it will be returned by Malachi Moore, who's the punt returner for the Gators. And Moore, cutting from left to right, has greenery in front of him, across the 50, and shouldered out of bounds by the kicker, Andrew Masucci. And if it weren't for Masucci, it could have been a touchdown for Moore.
Yeah, I mean, that just shows in a nutshell the amount of skill that Gateway has across the board, that even your up men are guys that have experience on punt returns. So you got Bledsoe right there. He's good with the ball in his hands. There's so many guys that you feel comfortable fielding kicks, getting the ball on offense, and Moore very easily could have taken that one to the house. Great counterattack here, and let's see if the offense can't get some momentum going here for the Gators.
I anticipated seeing a lot of Malachi Moore with the absence of Patrick Bodie, and you see Moore lined up as the receiver to the right. And the pass to Moore, just a bit high and incomplete.
Both quarterbacks to this point, obviously Pfeiffer had a really great few throws there on that last drive, including a touchdown pass, but both of them have kind of been airmailing it so far tonight and overthrowing their receivers. See if Engel K can't bring this down a little bit. I mean, he's got tall receivers out there that can make plays in the ball, but still got to put it within range for him.
Option to the right. Engel K, nowhere to go. Had the ball stripped away, but Bill Heidkamp says that Engel K, if he wasn't down, at minimum, his forward progress was stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to watch the replay on that one, but the whistle did blow. Thought it was a good decision by Engel K to hold on to that one there. It looked like they had read the pitch well there. That option play is sort of dried up for them. So you take a look there, looks like they got the call right.
Yeah, I think the right forearm of Engel K was down before he got spun going around and had the ball stripped away. So it's 3rd and 11 for Gateway, with the ball inside of Peters' territory at the 44. Play action. Toss across the middle, and the pass in and out of the hands of Jaden Hurt.
Engel K's pass intended for Hurt.
Well, that's frustrating. You got a really great return by Moore. You got some momentum there. But all in all, you go 3 and out, and all of a sudden you're giving the ball right back to this Peters Township offense. See what Gateway's able to do to make some corrections on the other side of the ball.
Jenkins catches a true snap and hangs a punt high, which will be fair caught inside of the 20. So some defensive adjustments necessary for the Gateway Gators.
Peters Township 18.
As Peters Township comes out of the locker room, they drive the ball down the field. score a touchdown, and then stymie an offensive drive by the Gateway Gators.
This is a good Indians team. It's a good defense. We already talked about how both the Gators and the Indians are bringing a lot of talent back from the championship matchup last year. We talked about guys like Pfeiffer, Hondrew, 3-4 year starters. These are guys that are battle tested. They are not going to go away even down 19 and now 12.
And a flag comes in, and a procedural penalty of some kind against Peters Township is going to cost them 5 yards, pushing them back to the 12. Taking a look at the 6A finals up at Martirelli Stadium in North Hills. Central Catholic coming from behind to take the lead on North Allegheny, 24-21. Martirelli Stadium, the home, one of two homes in the WPIAL finals here in 2020. Peters Township on 1st and 15, and the pass nearly intercepted again. It was right in the hands of Jaden Hurt. I don't know where that pass was going. Pfeiffer didn't see Hurt in between the intended receiver and Jaden Hurt.
Jaden Hurt, he's been such a weapon tonight, but a couple drops here early in the second half. He dropped that 3rd down potential conversion in there. That could have flipped this game right on its head, and even still, this defense starting to gain their bearings here in the second half. Once again, getting pressure, making life hard for the quarterback.
Straight drop back. Pfeiffer flushed, directing traffic. Tried to lob it over Hurt over there, I think, on that far sideline. No, it was Parks he tried to lob it over, looking for Carrington with the incomplete pass. Brings up 3rd down and 15.
Would have been a real tough completion there. That's a tough throw for any quarterback to make, let alone a high school quarterback. A good job extending the play and giving the offense a chance, but that one just off the mark.
Clock stopped on 3rd down and 15 for Peters Township from their own 13. Pfeiffer off of play action, finds a crossing receiver, and he will get close to the 1st down flag. The official on the near side marks it close to the 1st down marker. Now the official on the far side marks it for the 1st down, and the Gator fans not happy. So a pickup of 15 there on the pass to Carrington.
That's killer for this defense. You look like you're about to get off the field, pin them deep, get the ball back with good field position, and now once again, this offense gets into some rhythm. I'm surprised they didn't do a measurement there, but they're going to keep this one moving.
Pfeiffer goes under center, and he will hand off the ball carrier. Pate running left. A flag is down, as I think it may have been David DeSayo who grabbed a hold of Jacques Taylor, but we'll check in with the officials just to confirm.
Could have sworn I saw Derek Davis getting held as well coming across the field, so a couple of options there. It looks like Nico Pate down and about to be tended to.
And Vince, as we rewind to the play prior to that rush by Pate, as we took a look at our replay, it certainly looked like the receiver Carrington was down at the 26-yard line. The line to gain was about the 27, closer to the 28, and they kind of gave Carrington the benefit of the bounce after he was tackled by Aiden Smith.
Well, in general, it seemed like they just rushed that decision. There was no opportunity to take a look at it, no measurement. Usually you see a little bit more of a pause there to make sure you get the call right. As we see Nico Pate up and moving, that's a good sign. He has been a force to be reckoned with all season long, and if Peters Township's going to bring this game back full circle and try and take the lead, they're going to need a guy like Nico Pate in the lineup.
So now it's 1st down and 17. They determined that the hold happened 3 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. And Vince, when I took a look at our replay for a second time, I did see that it was Davis, at least in the foreground, that was being held. I also thought Jacques Taylor may have been held, but that was further back and maybe inconsequential to the play. So again, 1st down and 17 is Pine Richland well on their way to the WPIAL championship here in the 5A classification after moving down from 6A a year ago. Pass across the middle is intercepted. This time Jaden Hurt pulls it in. Logan Pfeiffer looking for Corbin Hondrew, threw into double coverage, and the INT by Jaden Hurt.
You keep playing with fire, you're going to get burned. You keep throwing it into traffic, these Gators are going to pick it off. You know, for as much as all season we've talked about Peters Township and their ability in the secondary to create turnovers, it's been the Gators tonight with now 3 interceptions, and all of them, 1 a pick six, 2 of them now setting up the Gators with prime real estate as this ball is going to be placed right at the 25-yard line. And again, that score that the Gators need to really put this one out of reach could come here early in the third if they're able to execute.
Yeah, Jameer Harbor with the big interception in half number 1. Of course, Bledsoe had the INT for the pick six. As this time the Gators go to the ground for Davis, and Davis strung to the far boundary, and they will say a loss of 1 on the play where his forward progress was stopped.
Yeah, good pursuit there by Braylon Carrington to come up on that one and ensure that Davis wasn't able to get to the outside and get a lot of speed going. Nice job there with the form tackle, or at least getting them wrapped up.
Play action, toss across the middle intended for Shamar Price. And that was fired in there, and I don't know that Engel K needed to throw it that hard, and I don't think Price anticipated the pass coming in that hard, leading to that incompletion.
You'd like to see him take just a little bit off of it there. Price had a step. And again, I don't really understand the pass-happy attack here by the Gators. The running tandem of Nelson and Davis has been so effective all season long. I don't know why you don't ride that.
Especially when we saw Jameer Harbor step in as well and throw or run the football quite well. Oh my goodness, the pass was in the hands of Shamar Price, but somehow slipped down to the turf, incomplete.
That's the second time tonight that we've seen a ball in the end zone, right in the hands of a Gateway receiver. First one was Hurt, this one Price. Guys have been great all season and super sure-handed, but tonight, a lot of drops for the Gators, just inexcusable. And that takes points off of the board, which is especially frustrating as it looks like they're going to bring that field goal unit back out again.
Yeah, taking another look at this one, the pass was into the hands of Price. Now, the defensive back there, Sirianni, had a hand on Price's hand initially. A little bit of a low snap here. The kick by Jenkins is up, and that kick is no good. And another missed field goal opportunity for Gateway, their second missed field goal of the game. And they also missed a PAT in half number 1.
When you think about it, whichever one of these two teams that advances is going to have to go up against a Pine Richland team that can clearly put points on the board incredibly quickly. And for Gateway, just too many of these drives are stalling out where you're going to the air and you're either having receivers drop the ball, you're overthrowing, or you're just getting away from your bread and butter, which is the run game. And it'd be nice to see them sort of go to, especially up 12 here. You look, you get another score potentially, you start to really salt this one away. And again, I just don't know why they're getting away from their best asset, Derek Davis.
Gateway goes to the ground. I think that was Sirianni that time, the ball carrier, as last drive we saw Nico Pate shaken up, and that was Sirianni. He had nowhere to go, brought down at the 20-yard line, which is the line of scrimmage.
On the other end, we'll see if Peters Township goes to the air a little bit more. That was a big factor in them getting points on the board in the last drive. The running game has done nothing for them of note so far in this one.
Trips left, one receiver right. Pfeiffer looking left the whole way. Completes the pass to Carrington on a crossing route. Carrington running to the far sideline, finally shoved out of bounds by Derek Davis, but a big pickup turns the field.
Yeah, Carrington really showing some breakaway speed there. And that flips the field relatively quickly, much like the completion to McMillan on the last drive. They've had those crossing routes through much of the night, but Pfeiffer's been, even on that one, he puts the ball just a little bit behind his receiver. So that's something Gateway's going to have to adjust with, not allowing those receivers to come cleanly across the middle of the field.
Pfeiffer going deep, and the pass is caught. A diving reception for a touchdown by Donovan McMillan, and all of a sudden we've got ourselves a heck of a football game.
My goodness, 2 big drives, a couple big throws from Pfeiffer, and not being able to capitalize on that turnover for the Gators looms very large now, as this is going to be a 1-score game. Heck, even not converting on that field goal, or a few of them, looms large now, as those are points off the board. So missed opportunities for the Gators allows this to be a much closer contest than I think a lot of people are comfortable with.
Vince, to be honest with you, Gateway has left 7 points off of the board in special teams. They missed a PAT and 2 field goals thus far, 2 pretty makeable field goals. This would be a 26-13 game right now. Instead, it's at 19-13 with the PAT up and coming. And that PAT is no good, so that keeps Gateway up by 6, which is a little bit more comfortable than 5.
Absolutely. But nonetheless, it's going to come down to this offense staying on the field and making some plays for the Gators. The defense clearly needs a little bit of time to make some adjustments and get themselves straight. We'll see what happens, but my goodness, a quick turnaround here in the first 6 minutes of this third quarter. Peters Township is right back in it with all of the momentum.
Yeah, that field goal actually caromed off of the left upright to the outside of it. Today's playoff broadcast brought to you by the Job Funeral Home and Crematory, with 4 area locations to serve families in need. Adam Gusky, Vince Russo upstairs. Down on the field, Rick McIntyre. And Rick, well, I'll tell you what, Peters Township came out of the locker room a very different football team, and unfortunately the Gateway Gators look different than they did in the first half too. What just happened?
I believe they're saying that Price issued a fair catch. He looks bewildered.
I'd love to see a replay of this one. I heard a fan say he fair caught it. He waved off his teammate.
They're watching. They know.
Oh, my goodness. Price waved off Davis.
First down for the Gators at their own.
Wow, I mean, there's really no other way to put it than that is an egregious missed call that now creates a ton of adversity for this Gateway Gator squad. They're at their own 5-yard line to start this drive.
Play action. The toss, complete, then fumbled. They're going to say it's a catch and a fumble. Incomplete. The 2 officials coming from the back, the 2 back judges say an incomplete pass.
Angle pace pass, incomplete.
And meanwhile, Carrington is down and motioning quickly as Sam Miller for him to be tended to. For Peters Township, that would be a huge loss. Carrington with a couple big receptions on that last drive, and that's probably a good call there. I don't know that he fully possesses that ball hurt as that comes in. And he doesn't really make a football move, gets 1 foot down, but really isn't moving.
Yeah, that ball was not clearly received, and I think the fact that it was tipped probably helped Gateway not complete that pass. And then the incompletion brings up 2nd down and 10. And Vince, again, Gateway goes to the air on 1st down. And that is something that probably has hampered their ability to kind of salt this game away a little bit. The ground game worked in that first half, and they're getting away from it, especially on early downs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's hard to question someone with the coaching acumen and results of Don Hall, but I'd plead with him to get the ball into Davis and Nelson's hands a little bit more, and again, force this Peters Township defense to stop him. He's been dynamic all night. When he's gotten the ball in his hands, he's made good things happen. Even just pitching it out wide or getting a quick bubble screen to him. I'd like to see Davis get it here.
Pitch to Davis. Davis to the left. Cuts it back to the inside. Nice tackling there by Peters Township. Davis had some greenery in front of him, but is brought down shy of the 10. They'll spot him at the 9. So it's third down. Line to gain is the 15, so it's third down and 6. Sorry.
Really, no, you're good, Adam. This really does feel like a big third down to stop the bleeding here for the Gators. All the momentum is with the guys in the white jerseys.
Angle K throws complete. Jaden Hurt.
That's huge.
Great catch right in front of the defender, Carrington, who returned to the lineup after being shaken up. And that's a first down, Gateway. We get an opportunity, we'll send it down to the sideline. Rick McIntyre has some information on Patrick Bodie, who was injured in half number 1 after getting twisted around near the goal line. Two receivers to the right, one to the left. Angle K runs the option, tucks himself, and picks up about 2 there. Now let's send it down to those sidelines. Let's talk to Rick McIntyre about Patrick Bodie.
Yeah, thank you, Adam. Early in the second half here, I just went over and talked to the trainer here, Chris Klecker, for Gateway, as he was kind of applying almost like a hip-to-toe leg brace on Patrick Bodie. But everything seems positive right now. They're not expecting any kind of an ACL tear, anything serious to that knee. He's describing it as a sprain, and they're keeping him out just to be overly cautious.
That's wonderful news for the Gateway Junior as the handoff between Davis and Engelke goes awry. And right now the wheels are starting to fall off the Gateway Gators. And this brings up a third down and 13. And the momentum has clearly shifted to the far sideline.
They don't want to burn a timeout here early or now midway through the third quarter, but you almost feel like you need to slow this down, hit the reset button, and kind of take a deep breath because the air is shifted so much. You can just feel the momentum in the hands of the Indians, and now a big third down after a loss of yards. They got a long way to go here.
Play action. Angle K, nowhere to throw it to, and he'll be brought down at the line of scrimmage, and the punt unit has to come on.
Talk about things looming large. That call by the officials that has, stalled this drive out at the 14 as opposed to the 24 or 34-yard line. This is going to flip field position, even if Jenkins is able to get quite the boot on it. Again, Peters Township going to have the ball in great field position with an opportunity to tie this one up and potentially go ahead.
Good snap, punt away. Boomer. Jenkins was also hit in the process.
He was flattened. I mean, a great punt by Jenkins, all things considered, and he would have flipped the field there. We'll see what this means in terms of yardage or first downs, because he got walloped by a couple Indians.
So if this is roughing the punter, it will be a first down. If it is running into, it'll just be 5 yards. Bill Heidkamp talking with his umpire to see what the umpire may have seen. Personal foul, roughing the punter, first down Gateway. Peters Township fans not happy, but Vince, you saw it. I started looking at the ball as Jenkins got hit.
He got walloped, Adam. I mean, there was no other way about it. I know TJ Plack isn't going to like this one, but it wasn't just a guy rolled up on the punter after the kick was gone or made a little bit of contact with him. I mean, they ran through Jenkins and forced him down to the turf. You just can't do that. They're going to call that every single time. You've got to be more aware of that if you are the punt return team for Peters Township, and so this gives a breath of new life to this offense and an opportunity to go out, make some more plays. You're not in the shadow of your own end zone anymore. You're set up at the 29-yard line, so you got to block everything else out. This is a brand new drive. If you think about it, go make some plays. That was more there.
Yeah.
He moved early.
Yeah, he did. He flinched early, and I think he thought he was going in motion, and that's a circumstance where sometimes, especially at the high school level, and more especially when you find a sophomore out there in a big play situation, if you move, go in motion.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, and he's getting a few more snaps now with Bodie on the sidelines.
Play action. Angle K. Tosses right. Complete to Price. Price across the 40 and out of bounds. A first down for the Gators.
Angle K. We talk about that poise that he has, and he has really started to find a little bit of rhythm and connection here. Those last couple throws, you see, just sets himself up well. You know, good shoulder movement there. Gets the ball out. It's a nice ball. Puts it right where his receiver can get to it. They move the chains, get close to midfield, and get an opportunity to get some of this momentum back.
Play action. Toss to Hurt. Hurt with a shoestring catch. Still on his feet, dancing and shoved out of bounds. Shoved out of bounds by McCosco. Go ahead.
Sorry, Adam, a great catch there by Hurt. I mean, he scooped that one up around his knees and be able to keep his balance after absorbing a hit and catching it in an awkward position and then coming back and gaining an extra yard or two. It's an excellent effort there.
So it's second down and 6 for Gateway as Davis settles to the left of Engelke. Handoff, Davis. Strung right, cuts it back. He's got some blockers, directing traffic. He's got the first down and more, and will be shoved out of bounds inside of Peters Township territory at the 43-yard line.
Such incredible vision, and you can tell when a player is truly special because they're always thinking a step ahead, and the game seems to slow down for them. You see Davis here. He gets contained there. He doesn't panic. He spins away from it and is immediately surveying his options and trying to set up blockers, even putting his hand on Jacques Taylor there and guiding him where he needs to go. I mean, such an incredible amount of football IQ and poise from Derek Davis. Again, I think they got to keep getting the ball in his hands one way or another.
Handoff, Davis, cutting left, then back up the gut. He'll get to the 40 for a pickup of 3.
And that is okay. That is okay. You get 3 yards there. You continue to chip away. I mean, we look at it, you're arguably every third carry or so, Davis is breaking one for 10, 15, 20 yards. So just bide your time. Get the ball to him. Sure, he may get stopped for 2 or 3 yards on 1 or 2 plays, but he's always going forward. And every couple carries, he's breaking one.
Second down and 7. Play action. Angle K pumps twice, and he's wrapped and sacked. Gateway's receivers aren't getting open. And at this point, running the football has made this drive happen after the penalty.
Absolutely.
I mean, a couple of quick passes to Shamar Price, you know, notwithstanding, it's been Davis who's carried the load. And now it's 3rd and 12.
Now you've conceivably got to go to the air here against a talented defensive backfield for the Indians. You sort of play into this defense's hands.
Play action. Angle K all kinds of time. Settles, runs it back. Coming this near side. Tosses. And the pass is incomplete as it was intended for Price. But he had to turn into a defensive back as it was nearly into the hands of Donovan McMillan, the future Florida Gator.
Yeah, that is not the guy you want to see potentially gearing up to pick off your quarterback, because more than likely he's going to net some major yardage on a return. So a good heads-up play there by Price to do some damage control. And now you just try to flip the field. You try and pin the Indians deep within their own territory and hope that defense is able to force Pfeiffer into some more poor decision making.
No pressure on Jenkins this time, as the end-over-end punt will be fair caught at the 14-yard line by Carrington.
Jenkins has done a good job of hanging those kicks up there and pinning them inside the 20. It would be really great to see if he could get another 5-10 yards. There's such a big difference between starting a drive inside your own 10-yard line as opposed to just inside your own 20-yard line. And certainly takes a lot of skill for any punter at any level to pin a team down multiple times within the 20, so you give credit where it is due. But those are just the little things that can be big determining factors and make or break games like this, where all of a sudden we've got ourselves a dogfight here late in the third quarter.
Trips right, one receiver left. Pfeiffer with all kinds of time, and the pass is incomplete, looking for Carrington.
For the couple great catches that Carrington has, he's had a bit of a case of the drops tonight too. That's third or fourth time we've seen a ball bounce off of his hands. Those are ones you just got to come up with. Keep your offense in rhythm. Keep your quarterback in rhythm. Even though you probably would have only gained 4 or 5 yards, there's a big difference between 1st and 10 and 2nd and 5.
So 2nd and 10 here for Peters Township. 2 receivers to either side. Gateway fans making noise. Toss to the near side for Carrington, who breaks a tackle, cutting to the near boundary. Carrington still on his feet, stays on his feet, and finally shoved out of bounds by Derek Davis. Great job by Jacob McCosco to stick with the block to give Carrington some space to take it to the near boundary.
Yeah, and to not hold in the process, which is always something you look for out of receivers out there on the edge. That can be a tall ask, and super unfortunate there, an over pursuit and a missed tackle there by the Gators, which would have kept that one within that 10-yardage span, would have forced a third down. Instead, they give up about another 20 yards after the reception.
1st and 10 for Peters. And a flag comes in, and it's a false start against the Indians. I think Donovan McMillan may have moved early, as Shane Thrift was pointing at him immediately as the flag came down.
Penalty against Peters Township. No legal procedure.
So at this point, it seems safe to say that the winner of this game will take on the Pine Richland Rams in the WPIAL championship game next Saturday. Final score just coming in: Pine Richland 49, Penn Trafford 14. Handoff, it's Sirianni running right, found a crease, and he's brought down after a 4-yard gain by Hunter Dow. Aiden Smith gets in on the tackle as well.
Haven't heard Smith's name a whole lot tonight. He's been a big difference maker on the defensive side of the ball for the Gators thus far this season. See if he can get a little more in on the action here as we are inching closer to the fourth quarter. Nothing is determined here yet, that's for sure. This has turned into a great game.
Yeah, and a lot of passing has certainly kept the clock stopped, as a pass intended for Jacob McCosco just a bit off the mark, and McCosco couldn't make the diving reception like his teammate Sam Miller did earlier on the touchdown for the Peters Township Indians.
And I'll tell you what, these receivers are finding the soft spots in the defense. I mean, that was a wide open option there, just a ball that was thrown a little off the mark. So this Gateway secondary has made some big plays. There's been some interceptions, but they're letting up a little too much right now as far as wide open spaces for these receivers.
3rd and 11, a big play for both of these teams in the late stages of quarter number 3. Pfeiffer in the shotgun, steps up into the pocket. He breaks the first wave of tackles but cannot get past the second wave, as he is wrapped and brought down after a pickup of a few.
And a few Gators down and slow to get up, now moving. Both Dow and Nelson took licks there. As we take another look.
Boy, was Jacques Taylor being held on that play.
Now comes decision time. Do you go for it here? You've got momentum, 11 seconds left, or do you try and pin the Gators down deep within their own territory? I tend to think they'll end up allowing this one to go to the fourth and then bring the punt team on once we resume.
Well, I'll tell you, Kelvin Nelson was not a happy camper. He was forced to come off of the football field and miss a play there. Now, they brought in the backup nose tackle, did the Gators, Patrick Bauman, but I think with the quarter change, he will be able to return to the lineup. We will find out when we return. We've played 3 quarters of football. It's Gateway 19, Peters Township 13. You're tuned in to Gateway Football on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
For over 125 years and 4 generations, the Job Funeral Home and Crematory family and staff has been serving area families with compassionate service and attention to detail. We've proudly designed our locations in Monroeville, Turtle Creek, Penn Township, and Delmont with tranquil settings and convenience for families in their time of need. We would like to thank the great families of the communities we serve for once again selecting us for the Best of the Best Award for the #1 funeral home in the East. Job Funeral Home and Crematory, a name you can most certainly trust.
Set to begin quarter number 4 here in Monroeville, Pennsylvania. 4th down and 6 for Peters Township, and they have the punt unit on the field. Of course, Gateway has their punt safe unit on the field because the Peters Township punter Corbin Hondrew has been known to run with the football. Bouncing snap, Hondrew boots it away. They'll take a big bounce in favor of the Indians and will finally drop dead at around the 13-yard line. So a very protracted quarter number 3, both in real time and in scoring, as the Peters Township Indians were able to put up 13 points and the Gateway Gators look vulnerable, quite honestly, for the first time this season, other than in the early goings against Woodland Hills.
Yes. We probably should have expected that this was going to be a dogfight. I mean, these two teams duked it out last year, a 1-point decision in the title game. And again, this Peters defense gives them the opportunity to stay around in games. And they've done just enough offensively, 2 really well put together drives through the passing game. And so we've got ourselves an excellent 11 minutes and 48 seconds.
Handoff, Davis running right. He's wrapped and will finally be brought down a couple yards deep in the backfield. I think that was Dante Lahette on the tackle.
Stopped by Lahette.
See if they stick with the run here or get pass happy once again on this drive. It just hasn't worked out for the Gators this season when they've gone predominantly towards the pass. It's when they've stayed loyal to the run game where they've really started to put together some big drives.
Pitch to Davis, running to the left. Steps around a defender and steps out of bounds as he approaches the 20-yard line. We'll see where they say he steps out. It'll be the 18, so a nice pickup of 11 on that play. Or check that, not 11, 9 on that play. Brings up 3rd down and much more manageable 4.
I'm surprised we haven't seen any screen passes thrown into the mix here. It's something that the Gators have had a great deal of success with this season. Wouldn't be surprised if they try and set that up here to one of the receivers or even just a quick flip out of the backfield to Davis.
Angle K, hands off. Davis hesitates, then runs his way forward. Gets a little help from his friends for a big first down. The big shove from behind by Patrick Bauman, the senior center.
Yeah, Bauman in there making some hay. Dominic Pasquarella in there as well. You know, that's a big, big first down conversion there. They've got to keep this offense on the field. I mean, obviously you'd feel much more comfortable putting some more points on the board, but they just haven't been able to sustain any drives since the first quarter, which sounds a lot like the Penn Hills game. They've got to be able to flip the script here.
Handoff, Davis, big hole over left tackle. Spun down, and a flag is down way back near the line of scrimmage, and it came in about a month after Davis went past that area.
And never a good sign as you see Davis's body language reinforcing that this one's, as they're heading back to the huddle, going to be coming back on a holding call most likely.
Now, I'm wondering, has Peters Township, I don't recall, been called for a post-snap penalty today? And I don't think they have.
Doesn't feel like it.
And that's got to be frustrating for the Gateway Gators, that every in-play penalty has gone against Gateway today, or at least the vast majority of them.
And they've been borderline. I think it's fair to say that. I'm normally one of the first people to stick up for these officials. Things happen fast. They try to do the best job they possibly can. But, I mean, my goodness, it's really been one-sided. And it's really been some borderline calls, which has impacted this game greatly.
Davis was about 3 steps past the defensive end when Baron Fowler grabbed the jersey. Toss to the near side, complete to Hurt. Hurt wrestling his way forward and falls out of bounds. Up near the first down marker. And another big catch for Hurt here in the second half. Keeps the drive manageable. Instead of 1st and long, we've now got 2nd and 2.
Yeah, he's been really great along the sidelines. And again, I mean, he's just so hard to bring down to the turf. I mean, you've really got to get down around his ankles. You grab him around the waist, he's going to pull you.
Give the ball to Nelson, they do. 1st down yardage and more. He needed 2, he got 3.5, maybe 4.
Such a great second option to have in the backfield. So hard to bring down with just one person. You've got to get a lot of people in there. And I'm a big fan of getting him some carries and attracting some attention to him and potentially opening some things up on the outside.
I agree. I mean, at this point, with him out there, Peters Township has to respect the pass maybe just a little bit more, and so they have to spread out. Then you get the big fella running up the middle with not a lot of guys in front of him. Angle K, the play breaks down. And I think it was Angle K was thinking a handoff to Nelson, and Nelson was thinking he was rolling out on a pass. So a loss of 2 as Angle K was covered up by a pair of Indians.
Yeah, unfortunate. It could have been a lot worse. As you see, it kind of looks silly there with the ball just sort of out there in no man's land, unfortunately. But you lose 2 yards. It's still 2nd down. You've got an opportunity to counterpunch here, even though you kind of have a play breakdown there on 1st down.
So it's 2nd down and a dozen, and a timeout taken by Don Hall and the Gateway Gators.
I like that. I like slowing things down, getting your guys in a huddle, making sure you know exactly what's going on. I mean, you look at it big picture here. You've got 9 minutes left in this game. If you're able to sustain a drive, keep the run game going strong, get down the field and get a score, you maybe take 3-4 minutes off the clock, and all of a sudden you create a 2-score game under 5 minutes to play and make it increasingly difficult for this Peters Township offense to have to get back into this one. So this is a critical drive for this Gateway offense.
Gateway football boosters still have gold card discount cards available. Gold cards offer discounts at Papa Rocks in Haymaker Village, the North Park Lounge in Murraysville, area McDonald's restaurants, Buffalo Wild Wings in Penn Center, the Gateway Grill, and more. For more information, visit www.gatewayfootballboosters.com. Today's playoff broadcast brought to you by the Job Funeral Home and Crematory with 4 area locations serving families in need. Play action, Angle K, all kinds of time off the pump, and the pass is well off of the mark. I mean, that pass was well over Shamar Price's head, and the issue is Price had a step on the D-back, and to add insult to injury, Diego Bledsoe was open a few yards shy of that as well.
Yeah, I thought initially they might be going for Bledsoe, but yeah, I mean, that went just way over the top, and Angle K has just struggled on the deep ball to have the right amount of touch on it. Saw Pfeiffer was able to connect the dots on a few of them here. That's been the difference in this second half. Angle K is going to have to find that touch again.
Angle K, all kinds of time, now pressured late, spins away for a moment, but then will be wrapped and brought down. A delayed blitz by Corbin Hondrew ends the Gateway drive.
That's not what you want to see for the Gators. That shifts that momentum back towards the Indians and now makes things increasingly tough. Your defense has its back against the wall. We're getting midway through this 4th quarter. Offense could have made life a lot easier there for the Gators. Now the door is still ajar for the Indians to go down the field and take a lead with not a whole lot of time left.
Low snap, but Jenkins able to gather it in and get a beauty away. A wobbler that'll be fair caught by Carrington at the 40, where Peters Township will be just 60 yards away from tying this ball game.
This is time for that defense to buckle up and get one more big stop and give this offense a chance to go down the field and put this one away. What a great battle between two really good defenses thus far in this game. Difference has been Gateway able to get a few more interceptions, make a few more big splash plays on the defensive side of the ball.
Empty set for Pfeiffer. Looking to the right, now across the middle. And the pass for Hondrew. Leaping up, he grabs it and pulls it down inside of Gateway territory.
A great combat catch there, too. Knew he was going to take a lick after getting his hands on that one. Catches it in traffic amid two defenders. A good job going up and high pointing that ball and coming down with it, knowing that he's going to take a hit.
Clock winding, 7.5 minutes to play here. Gateway on top 19-13. They were up 19-0 at halftime. Handoff, Sirianni running right. And he will be brought down about a 5-yard gain.
Stopped by Taylor. Make that Bledsoe.
That's a nice positive chunk play there on first down, and you can tell that there's just a little more energy on the offensive side of the ball. The wind has been taken out of the sails a little bit for Gateway. Gonna need a big play.
Clock continues to wind. Pfeiffer, hard count. Looking left the whole way. Deep pass, well too far. Bonzi Parks was back there in coverage. The pass was in the vicinity of Braylon Carrington, but certainly not meant for either of those guys at that point.
Yeah, a little bit too much on that one. Parks a good job of getting back to his man quickly and getting his head turned around and pinpointing where that ball was, but luckily it was well beyond the reach.
Trips left, one receiver right. Play action. Toss incomplete. Toss to the left-hand side was intending for Carrington. I don't know if he just dropped it or the Gateway D-back got some hands on it as well. And that'll bring up fourth down. And this is a circumstance where Peters Township has to keep the offense on the field if they want to keep their season alive.
Absolutely. This is a huge play, and that's a nice effort there by Bonzi Parks. He has been real solid in the defensive backfield tonight. Someone whose name we haven't brought up a ton, but he's made some big plays back there.
Huge play here for both teams. 4th down and 5 for the Peters Township Indians. And a timeout is called from the far boundary by the Peters Township Indians.
Timeout, Indians.
Certainly going to want to take some time to think about this one with everything that looms large over the outcome of the play.
Send it down to the sideline. Rick McIntyre, what's your assessment of what has gone on here in the fourth quarter for these Gateway Gators?
I think overall, Adam, I'm like a little kid down here watching one of the best football games I've seen in a long time. I mean, look at this. We're looking at 4th and 5 in the fourth quarter, everything on the line. And so far, it's just been a good, clean game. And either way this goes, this has been pretty fun to watch.
What's the feeling like on that Gateway sideline? It's clear what the fans are doing in the bleachers. What are the team doing?
That little bit of rush from the crowd, they're actually started on the sidelines here as they kind of got the crowd whipped up in a little bit of a frenzy there for that 4th down, and let's see if they can get it going again.
It's great to have a crowd back here at Pete Marino Stadium as well. Certainly not anywhere approaching capacity because of COVID restrictions, but it's great to have fans in the stands.
They're making up for it. There's still a lot of noise here.
4th down and 5 for the Peters Township Indians. The line to gain is the 33. Pfeiffer in the shotgun in an empty set. He's pressured, and he's wrapped, and he's sacked. Jacques Taylor, the first one there, and Kelvin Nelson cleans things up. And the Gateway defensive front looms large, and it's a turnover on downs.
And it looked like they had, I believe, Hondrew across the middle, a shallow route that probably would have been enough to get the first down. Take another look right there. He goes off the screen. Pfeiffer just decides to hold on to it, and it just, collapses on him. Had the ball too long. He's frustrated, but he needs to get that ball out quicker. That defense was coming. It pins its ears back, and it's Jacques Taylor, the guy they always seem to lean on when they need that big senior to come through with a big play. And now we'll see. There's still a lot of time left in this one, but can the Gateway offense put this game away?
1st and 10. Angle K hands off. Davis over right tackle, pulling his way forward for a gain of 2.
And if I'm Gateway, it's as simple as that. You keep the ball in Davis's hands, you ride, and you either go for broke or you go home, putting it into the hands of your Division I recruit. He's the Gateway career touchdown leader with almost 80 career touchdowns for a reason. And if he's able to get one more, the Gators will be that much closer to another trip to the WPIAL finals.
Low snap, Angle K. Throwing. Down the near sideline for Davis. Davis diving reception! Davis with the rope-a-dope. Running step for step with Donovan McMillan, and then found another gear to get under that football.
My goodness. Those are two Division I athletes duking it out down the sidelines. These are going to be guys whose names we're going to start talking about on Saturdays, not just Fridays. And this time it's the Gateway Gators receiver, running back, Derek Davis. He does it all. And as well as that ball was thrown, just an even more tremendous effort to lay out for that one and get that ball without losing it going to the ground.
Empty set. Angle K tosses back to the left-hand side, but the pass was deflected. And it'll be an incomplete forward pass as Pat McDonald was the one who broke that one up. And I don't understand in that circumstance why you're in an empty set throwing the football on 2nd down and 10 in the latter stages of a WPIAL semifinal.
I mean, you've heard my opinion. Everyone at home has heard my opinion more than enough times. I don't need to reiterate. I'm lining it up, and I'm giving it to guys like Nelson and Davis in this situation. And if nothing else, not making a huge mistake that opens the door for Peters. You're knocking on the door. Even a field goal would work here if you get it.
Yeah, the clock is your friend in this circumstance as they give it to Nelson, who barrels his way forward for a pickup of about 2, maybe 3, as they'll spot that ball near the 20.
What's important to keep in mind, if this drive does stall out, the ball is currently on the left hash. That is where Jenkins has nailed the 2 field goals he has hit. So you want to keep that ball on that side of the field should you end up in a position now with it being 3rd down where you don't convert and you bring out the field goal unit.
Yeah, he hit a 40-yarder from the left side of the field on his first field goal that probably would have been good from 50-plus.
Be in the area of about 37 should they not pick up any more yardage on this play.
Angle K, pressured, fumbled the football. And it's covered up by Jacques Taylor.
Angle K on the fumble.
I don't get it, Adam. I just don't get it. You're taking a lot of risks here. You nearly turn the ball over. And now what do you do? It looks like they're going to keep the offense out on the field. At this point, after Jenkins missed the last 2 attempts, might not be a bad idea. Although now they are going to bring him out. And we shall see. They'll have him on the left hash. And this one now going to be a 42-yard attempt. He was perfect. Could have hit one from 50 earlier. See if he's able to knock this one through.
Low snap by Angle K, and a flag comes in. And it's offsides against Peters Township. That's going to give them 5 additional yards.
Well, and even more than that, it saves what would have been a terrible attempt. The snap was bad. The hold was bad. So, my goodness, you get 5 extra yards and another opportunity to get a boot on this one. That's a saving grace there for the Gators. And when you look at what's on the line here, a kick that's up and good makes it 22-13 and a 2-score game under 4 minutes to play. So this is a big-time kick now from 38 yards.
Angle K, the snapper, Livesey, the holder. And that kick is up. And that kick is no good, but Jenkins was roughed.
No good.
Bill Heidkamp threw the flag.
Flag on the play.
Was he run into or was he roughed? If he was run into, it's another opportunity for a field goal. If he was roughed, it's a first down.
It's a win-win either way for the Gators on what was a missed field goal. But this is a critical delineation here.
Running into the kicker is the penalty, so it's 5 yards.
5-yard penalty against Peters for running into the kicker.
So this started as
Fourth down
a 42-yarder.
and 5.
Now it is a 34-yarder.
Just keep marching it forward. He's got to nail one of them.
Good snap by Angle K. Hold down, kick up, and that field goal is no good.
The kick is no good.
That's tough. They've had so many opportunities, and it's really been a tale of this season in some of these close games. You talk about the Woodland Hills game. You talk about Penn Hills last week. You talk about now this game here. They've had opportunities to turn these close games into blowouts or to really put themselves in favorable positions. And now, much like that Woodland Hills game, you're sweating here at the end of the game, and there's still so much time left. And 2 timeouts for the Indians. They've got 3.5 minutes and 2 timeouts to work with, so they now have the momentum, and they're sitting in a good spot here with an offense that has definitely been the one producing in the second half.
The Gateway kick unit has left 10 points on the field with a missed PAT and 3 missed field goals. Peters Township goes to the ground, and running to the near sideline is Sirianni.
Run out of bounds by Davis.
And he's forced out of bounds by Derek Davis, amongst others.
And you just get the feeling even on that play that this defense is just shocked. This team is just shocked. They had a 19-point lead. They go into the half. Everything looks great. But how many times this season have we seen just an inability to finish and really put a punctuation mark on some of these games? And once again, this defense is going to have to make a big, big play.
Pass complete over on that left-hand side, as finding himself wide open was McCosco in the open field tackle made by Jaden Hurt. Or was that Shane Thrift over there?
Pass complete to McCosco.
Maybe it was Parks. I'm not sure. Either way, a big pickup for Peters Township. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's the replacement for Bodie in Yusef Menzoza who made that tackle. That's why I saw the 5. But it was 15, not 5.
We'll see if they keep targeting him here going down the field. 2 big gains in short order.
1st and 10. Handoff, Sirianni running left, strung to the far boundary and steps out of bounds after a couple-yard gain.
Good job not to levy a hit along the sidelines and rather to just force the runner out. Got to be careful. Personal fouls would be killers here and really give, that much more needed momentum to a Peters Township team that has it all right now.
So 2nd down and 9. Peters Township motions the 2 wings left to receivers on the right. Straight drop back for Pfeiffer. Little happy feet as he flushes right. Throws it to the near boundary. And the closest man to the ball was Rick McIntyre.
Third down.
Should have shown off those old tight end hands, Rick. So that incomplete pass brings up 3rd down and 9.
Good job by Pfeiffer there just to live for another down and get rid of that one as you see Bledsoe was closing in quickly. And again, this is 4-down territory, but my goodness, what a huge 3rd down here for the Gators defense.
3rd down and 9. Trips left, 1 receiver right. 1 protector for Pfeiffer. Throw to the left, and the pass is caught and Carrington wrestles his way forward for a first down.
What a physical second effort there. We've seen the Gators and their receivers doing such a good job. This time it's Carrington who just wills his team forward to a fresh set of downs. And you really get the feel that this might end up being the last drive of the game as we're down to 2.5 minutes. One thing that's helpful for the Gators is it is touchdown or nothing here. They can't force a field goal. If it comes down to fourth down, they're going to have to keep that offense out there.
Gateway still does have 2 timeouts to work with, and you've got to assume that if this drive perpetuates for Peters Township, Gateway's going to start to use them. Now, a false start there against Peters Township is going to cost them 5 yards.
Yeah, that's huge. Just makes it that much harder here late in this one. My goodness, what a game we have on our hands after what looked real lopsided in the first half.
Trips left, 1 receiver split wide right on the wide side of the field. Now they'll motion 2 to the right. Pfeiffer tosses the pass incomplete over on that far sideline. It was intended for Sirianni.
Second down.
And Jameer Harbor was en route. And had Sirianni not slid down, I don't know that he would have held on to that football anyway because Jameer Harbor was on the way.
Yeah, he didn't even turn his head to look for the ball. He was just getting ready to lay the boom should that opportunity arise.
So it's second down and 15 for Peters Township. 1:57 to play. Clock stopped on second down and 15. All kinds of time now. The pocket collapses, and Hunter Dow with another big sack and a little help from Kelvin Nelson.
They haven't gotten the push that they needed, but that time a coverage sack. The secondary holds in there long enough, forces Pfeiffer to have to think about running the ball, and as soon as he goes to take off, you see Dow get off of there real quick, rips himself free, and is able to take down the quarterback.
Gateway so fortunate to have defensive ends like Dow and Taylor. It's like having Aaron Smith and Cam Hayward on the same defensive line just at the high school level.
Absolutely.
So it's third down and 17 for Peters Township. Pfeiffer looks left, has blockers in front of him. He'll be brought down shy of the first down flag, but a much more manageable fourth down play here. It'll be fourth down and 4 with the line to gain the 27, the ball at the 31.
Fourth down.
No timeouts from Gateway. We were down under a minute left. This is your ball game, Adam.
And Peters Township, I think, is going to use their final timeout.
Indians. 48 seconds left in the game.
Well, this is all it was cracked up to be in the 2 versus 3 matchup coming into this game. In the first quarter, it didn't look like it was going to live up to the billing. But here in quarters 3 and 4, it certainly has gotten to be a much more interesting football game.
Absolutely. You take a look down there, obviously you see Central Catholic putting a championship banner up here with a 6A final win with a 2-touchdown victory over North Allegheny. But here, we're not done yet. 48 seconds left. Peters Township, give them the credit. They've crawled back into this one. 2 big drives in the third quarter, but it has been a defensive slugfest, and it all comes down to this.
48 seconds to play. It's fourth down and 4 for Peters Township. The ball is at the Gateway 31. The line to gain is the 27-yard line.
I think there might be a discrepancy in the clock now. They have it fixed. It's now at 51.2 seconds left. That's when the timeout was officially called by Peters, and we'll see what they draw up here. I tend to think they're going to go to the air, try and find a crossing route along the middle, probably try and get the ball in either Hondrew or Carrington's hands. We'll see if this defensive backfield, along with the pressure from this front 7, can make one more critical play.
Gateway bringing 4 down linemen to the line of scrimmage. Toss to the left. It's intercepted. The pass well off the mark.
There's a flag down, though.
For what? Pick 6 for Shamar Price. but it will be negated as there's a penalty down. I would love to see the justification for this, as it looked like the receiver over there just fell down. Oh my. Okay, was it? Okay, so what it looks like is there was contact by Bonzi Parks. What a way to continue a drive for the Peters Township Indians, as yet again an in-play foul against Gateway. And like Vince and I said earlier, we don't remember an in-play foul against Peters Township.
Gut-wrenching, absolutely gut-wrenching. I mean, you go from having the victory literally in your hands and Shamar Price, who goes the distance, which would have effectively put a bow on this one, and now with 38.8 left, you get a fresh set of downs. You're at the 16-yard line, and you've got to dig deep here if you're a Gateway Gator.
Pfeiffer throws into the end zone, well off the mark.
Piper's pass incomplete. Second down.
I think he was looking for Lucas Cullen coming down that far sideline. The closest guy to the ball was Derek Davis for the Gators. So that brings up second down and 10.
A good job there slowing the receiver, impeding the route, getting an appropriate amount of hands on the body within those first 5 yards of the route, which you were legally allowed to do. That threw the timing off on that one.
Pfeiffer in the shotgun, sends Sirianni out. Now Pfeiffer steps forward, and he will be brought down after a pickup of about 4. And the clock will continue to wind.
Stop by down.
Surprised they're not taking a timeout here.
I don't know that they have any remaining. Now a flag will come in, and a false start against Peters Township.
Flag on the play.
Now, I know that the scoreboard says that there are some remaining, and I don't know if there's 2. I think there was 1 taken.
Well, even the scoreboard's saying that there's 2 left on each side.
That's what I'm getting at. There's 2 there. I think Peters Township used a second timeout on this drive. I don't remember. I think they did.
Illegal procedure against the Indians. Third down.
Oh, it's all going to come down to this. Honestly, probably fortuitous that the clock stops for a minute, because that pass to the outside, unless Carrington's able to get that one into the end zone, we're going to have a hard time getting another snap off before the clock would have run out. Now you got 14.5.
Bill Heidkamp looking for some adjustment on the scoreboard. I don't know if it's timeouts remaining or if it is the clock. They are asking for some time, I believe, to be put on the clock. .16. They wanted 2 seconds put back on the clock. So about a second and a half.
Yeah, every second counts here. 3rd and 11. Trip to the finals on the line.
Pfeiffer in the shotgun, trips left, 1 receiver right, sidecar to the left. Pfeiffer tosses left, the pass is complete, and it's Carrington still on his feet and brought down at around the 4-yard line. And Peters Township calls a timeout on 1st and goal at the 4.
First down.
Well drawn up play there. You get one of your best playmakers into space. We're lucky that wasn't called for a horse collar of some sorts as he nearly grabs it up there. They would have been able to stop just a few yards shorter. It would have been a 4th down. Now you have at least probably 2 opportunities to try and get this ball into the end zone. You got to be careful not to hold here if you're a defensive back. It'll put the ball right at the 1-yard line likely, or at least half the distance, which at this point basically is the 1-yard line. You can just cut the tension with a knife right now. This is incredible.
And remember, this was a 19-0 game at halftime. Peters Township came out of the locker room, drove the ball down Gateway's throat on the first drive. Then Peters Township was able to cut the Gators' lead down to 6 on a big touchdown pass. Gateway's defense has still been stellar here in the second half. And they have a play, maybe two, to secure their trip to the WPIAL finals. Trips right, one receiver left. Pfeiffer sends Carrington in motion. And a timeout is called by the Gateway Gators. So now Gateway saw what Peters Township put out there, and they want to talk about what they're going to do defensively.
Timeout, Gators.
Should Gateway advance to the WPIAL championship game, Vince, Rick, and I will be on the call for you, audio only, on the Trib Live High School Sports Network next Saturday night from North Allegheny High School. But of course, we have a play or two remaining and 8 seconds to go in this football game before that is determined.
No timeouts left as we finally got that updated. The scoreboard operators have that right, rather. And so they got to go to the end zone here. You can't throw it short. You've got to get this ball into the end zone. You'd have to think they're going to go to the air here. Boy, a sack would really be, Hunter Dow, Kelvin Nelson, Jacques Taylor. We'll see.
Pfeiffer's in the shotgun. Bobbled the snap. Looks across the middle. And the pass is caught.
Piper's pass is complete.
The officials say that it was caught by Corbin Hondrew. From that vantage point, it looks like he catches the football.
As much as we've knocked him at certain points, I mean, you've got an official with eyes right on it there.
Hondrew on that touchdown.
So a pivotal PAT here. Decent snap. The kick up. And that kick is good. And Peters Township claims a 1-point lead with 4 seconds to play. So 4 seconds to play here, and there's going to be the kickoff, and that is all. Unless it's fair caught. But really, think about how many times Gateway went to the air here in the second half. That 4 seconds would have certainly been ticked off had the Gators gone to the ground just a couple more times.
At the end of the day, you've left so much out there. 10 points on special teams. You've gone to the air for a majority of the second half of the game and left the running game sort of off to the side. If the Gateway Gators can't find a way to pull off a miracle here, you just don't have anyone else to blame other than yourself. I mean, Peters Township has made some incredible plays, some incredible adjustments. Their air attack has resulted in some incredible plays and drives that they've pieced together. Capped off with this one here. You just have to wonder why they didn't run the ball just a little bit more.
So Masucci, you've got to assume, is going to pooch this one. And Gateway, you have to think their instructions are catch it on the fly.
Here's the kick.
Oh, no, they're going to, okay, smart play. Come on! Derek Davis scooped up the ball and took a knee immediately. 3 times before the official finally blew the whistle.
You would think that they'll adjust. The officials are, they're meeting now. There's at least 4 seconds on the clock. He definitely didn't take more than that 0.7 to get his knee down. But, at the same time, you very likely only have one play here. So at the end of the day, they're going to probably adjust this for the sake of continuity and integrity. But it's going to come down to one play.
Gateway certainly is explosive enough to make it happen. There's no doubt about that. But I just don't understand why this, and it's not anything about continuity or the fact that there's only one play remaining. It's indicative of some things we've seen from this officials crew today. A questionable defensive pass interference that maintained a possession, that continued a possession for Peters Township. A holding call against Gateway that negated a 55-yard run by Derek Davis.
Well, take a step back, even more egregiously, the fair catch on the kickoff that very blatantly was not one.
So it's all down to this on fourth down, or rather in the fourth quarter. Toss incomplete. And that ball, I think, hit the ground before the clock expired, which is good news.
The clock is stopped at 0.4 seconds. Honestly, that drop is probably a very, very good thing for Gateway.
Peters Township, I think they brought in Hondrew on the blitz, and up the gut he came, and like you said, that pass fortuitously fell incomplete, intended for Harbor. So our clock says zeros. There's 0.4 of a second to play. This clearly the final play of the football game, but Gateway has one timeout to talk about.
Might as well. You got it. You can't take him with you. You got an opportunity to try and draw something up. Maybe you go with the hook and ladder. Maybe you go with the old bull crap play where you get the ball into one person's hands and just try to keep lateraling it. See if you can't get a breakdown in the defense. Or maybe you just try and take the lid off. We've seen time and time again this season the ability to extend plays over the top and connect on long touchdowns. So certainly, as you said, Adam, this is an offense that has the capacity, has the ability to be able to take the lid off a defense and do it in a scenario like this. But certainly an incredibly tough defense to do it against here in the Indians, which has a very, very talented secondary. So we'll see. It's all going to come down to this.
0.4 of a second to go. Trips left. A short slot to the right. Angle K. Straight drop back as a flag comes in. And he's going to pitch it back. And Hunter Dow is brought down as he had the football in his hands. And there was a flag down that came in from Bill Heidkamp, and I think it was an illegal shift against Gateway. And that's what it was. And that'll do it. Ball game. The Gateway Gators fall to the Peters Township Indians by a final score of 20-19 as Peters Township overcomes a 19-point halftime deficit to defeat the Gateway Gators by 1 point, the same margin in last year's WPIAL finals.
And I'm sure that this feels euphoric for the Indians. Certainly you see it painted on the faces of the Gators. Just absolute agony, a game that they felt so good about, a game where they left so much out on the field. You think of Jenkins, 34 yards away the Gators were for one kick that certainly would have made life very difficult for the Indians, would have had a 9-point advantage. So, this was a classic. This was a game you won't soon forget, but if you're a Gators fan, this is just heartbreaking.
Class move by Donovan McMillan going over, talking to some of the players he played against today. Just a fantastic football game, a great start by the Gateway Gators, but a much better finish by the Peters Township Indians, Vince.
Yeah, credit is due for the Indians. I mean, they are a talented team. They're a well-coached team. They made plays when they had to, and they're going to get a chance to take on an incredibly tough Pine Richland team next week. So hats off to them. The Gators had a lot of self-inflicted wounds, but good teams capitalize on those, and the Indians did so.
Send it down to the field as we move into the Job Funeral Home and Crematory post-game show. Rick McIntyre, your final thoughts on today's football game.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. Obviously, it's not the outcome we were looking for here, but my hat's off to this Gateway team. It's seen an unfortunate end to the season here with what was a really promising team. and the end of a couple really outstanding careers here at Gateway. It's certainly sad to see number 8 strap it up with the Gators for the last time here.
Yeah, I mean, we had an opportunity a couple years back, Rick, to, as fans, go see Derek Davis play in the PIAA semifinals. And last year, again, we saw them in the PIAA semifinals after winning their second WPIAL championship in a couple of years, but unfortunately not able to get out of the WPIAL semifinals this season.
Yeah, you can't win them every year. As good as this team is, that Peters Township team across the way there is pretty sound as well. So, again, hats off to the Gators for a great season, and hats off to the crew, all you guys. Thanks for representing Gateway as well as you did.
Thanks a lot, Rick, and thanks for helping us with this opportunity to broadcast Gateway football all season long. And, of course, we hope to be back next season to cover the Gateway Gators as they look for another WPIAL title, a title they fell short of this year by falling short in the semifinals by 1 point to the Peters Township Indians. And really the story of the game is the second half, where the Peters Township Indians were able to score 20 unanswered points, and the Gateway offense was not able to get any points on the board, kill the clock efficiently enough, and the special teams left 10 points out there as well.
Absolutely. And you feel for these seniors. You see a guy like Jacques Taylor there on the sidelines who left it out there. You compare him to a guy like Cam Hayward. He really does have that poise and that presence on the field. They have a couple seniors down there. Kelvin Nelson made big plays throughout the year. Obviously, Derek Davis. We're going to get to see him hopefully shine at the next level wherever he chooses to go here in just a day or so when he makes his decision. But my goodness, I mean, what a group of seniors, what a team. You see Jenkins there. He's heartbroken. But, this is you learn so much in life from these moments, for better, for worse. And these guys surely put on one heck of a show this season and just fell a little short.
Yeah, that was Jenkins having a conversation with Morty Ivy, the defensive coach. Just a very, very difficult outcome for one of these teams. One team's got to win, one team's got to lose. And it's a very sad circumstance for whoever sees their season end, especially for the Gateway Gators, who certainly going into halftime felt like they had this game well in their hands.
They did. I mean, you don't want to keep, sounding like a broken record, but, they just had the opportunities. They had, chances to put this game away, convert on field goals, sustain drives. The defense did their part, which is heartbreaking for them. But the offense, I do question just a little bit, respectfully, why they went away from the run game in the second half.
And this is a tragic scene. I mean, we show select Gateway players coming off of the field, a lot of kids with tears in their eyes. And I've been doing this a very long time. I've been broadcasting high school football since 2004, shortly after I got out of college. And watching the season end for these kids never gets any easier.
It doesn't. I played a little bit of ball in high school as well. I know you did, Rick did. You've been in those locker rooms. You feel that. You feel the euphoria of big rivalry wins, of championships, but you also never forget those heartbreakers. You never forget, especially for these seniors, knowing that for a lot of them, it's the last time you get to suit up with the guys that you've gone to battle with for years and really grown close to as a family. It really is a fraternal bond, and it's hard to put into words what it's like whenever it ends right on a dime like that, when this team had such high aspirations.
And when you say years, it's years and years, because so many of these young men for the Gateway Gators came through the Gateway Midget Football Association and worked their way from the GMFCA through junior high ball and up to the high school level.
Absolutely. It's so formative. It's the relationships that you build through your adolescence and catapult you into manhood. These are the guys that you're doing it with. These are the coaches you're doing it with. And you get that realization, nothing's worse than showing up a day or two from now and doing that locker clean out and knowing how close you were to being able to get back out there for practice on Monday.
Well, Vince, your final thoughts on this season?
What a great season to cover, our first one here officially with Gateway. So thankful for this opportunity to be a part of such a great program and have, such an opportunity to be around this team. They made such incredible plays all season. We had a great time being able to see that up close and personal. And though they fell just a little bit short, there's still some juniors on this team. You talk about guys like Hunter Dow that I think are going to come back next season. They'll have Engel K again. There are still some really big building blocks here and some young guys that showed that they have the capacity to make big plays next year. So, this moment stinks. It's terrible for the seniors. But for us, we've still got some exciting football to look forward to next year.
Yeah, that we do, and we hope to have the call for you again sometime late next summer or early next fall. Well, that'll do it for our coverage of the Gateway Gators here in a bit of a truncated 2020 season. Wrapping things up, I want to thank my broadcast partner all season long, Vince Russo, down on the field, Rick McIntyre, our entire crew, our camera operators, Lee Schaefer III, Joe Slick, helping out a couple times this season, Lee Schaefer Jr. Also want to thank Eric Schuley, our graphics operator. Big thanks to my daughter. I'm very proud of our replay operator, Allison Gusky, and of course my business partner, co-executive producer, and our director, Larry George. Well, that'll do it for this season. I'm Adam Gusky, signing off from Monroeville, Pennsylvania, as the Gateway Gators fall in the WPIAL semifinals 20-19 to the Peters Township Indians. Thanks for joining us, everybody.